Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are now tuned into an episode of Big Boy Talk, starring your hosts, Big Ranch and Mr. Ghost. And if you don't like it, we got two words for you: get out. What is good, everybody? I know it's been a little minute. Your boy still ain't fully got his voice back. Mr. Ghost, you've been holding it down for me between you and Jay. I appreciate y'all 100,000%. And I'm gonna need y'all to keep doing that because I need y'all to keep the fire coming. Because y'all been on a roll. Now tell me, sir, how's your week been?
No, been a little quiet, a little cool to begin with. Then it warmed up, and now it's about to freeze over. So you already know, 20 inches of snow. We ready.
Yeah, that snowstorm's coming our way too. It's pretty crazy. I've been off this week. They already canceled work for Monday. So nice long weekend coming in. It's not gonna be nice cleaning up that snow, but we gonna make it happen. We gonna do what we gotta do. I see Devon's in the building. Was good, Devon. Um, I enjoy the snow, watching it fall to a point. When it's just a dust thing, I'm like, so beautiful. But once you get over a certain height, it's like, all right, you need to get this out of here. I can't deal with it no more. I can't take it. Then there's always the threat that I walk outside, I slip, I fall, tear my ACL, MCL, LCL, PCL, my meniscus, my damn Achilles, and every other thing I could possibly tear. So I'm good for the snow to go. I'm ready to go. I had a lot of it. It snowed pretty much every day this week. I am all set on snow. But again, it is beautiful. Now, with that being the case, we done had a tumultuous offseason so far. Okay. I've been going for quite a while. Shout out to Indiana for beating the Canes in the college national championship. Big ups to y'all. It's a phenomenal game. Y'all played great all year long. That is a well coached team from the top to the bottom. We didn't fire our coach. Mr. Harbaugh got the boot. Tomlin
Thank
stepped
you,
down.
Jesus.
Bills gave their coach the boot. There's several other job openings. The NFL is in one of the wildest off seasons it's been in quite some time. And I'm surviving and thriving in the midst of chaos.
Hey,
I
Miss
love every
Yolanda.
bit of it. Miss Yolanda, how you doing? Welcome in. For those of you who are not subscribed to Miss Yolanda's channel, please get on that Ravens Talk with Yolanda immediately. Her and Hendo throw it down out there. Hendo's the rogue pod for those who don't know. Now, I said from day one, before the season started, that the Ravens team this year was not a playoff team and that we would be getting rid of Harbaugh this year because we would not make the playoffs. And it came to fruition. And you know what? Normally, I'd be hitting y'all with the I told you so, but I don't think I need to because I think a lot of people were on the same boat of, listen, we either got to win the championship or Harbaugh's got to go. I think it took too long. He wasted a lot of Lamar Jackson's career, but we still got him. Now, we don't have to get to this now, but there's the blasphemous rumors of, or the blasphemous trade proposal of trading Lamar to the Raiders for Mad Max and a couple first round picks. For those of you who think we should do that, kick rocks. Um, for the rest
Without
of you,
shoes.
for the rest of you, we ride or die with Lamar Jackson. Okay. Hey, Devon, I've been real consistent. Real consistent. We are ride or die Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson is
I,
going to be
I
the one in the Super Bowl.
I need to know who's in that picture on Davon's thing. The guy on the left. I need to know who that guy is.
Why are you so far off subject? Listen,
Just mess with their mind.
I know you are. I know you are. Yeah.
God.
So, B, I need your first thoughts. Your first thoughts you got as soon as John Harbaugh was let go. What started running through your mind?
Look, man, Harbaugh got fired, and we know Ghost usually eats good. We know he eats good. Man, he had some steak with me, he had a little bit of shrimp with me. I cracked the egg for the brother. And after that, shoot, we split some pancakes. I was so happy the dog ate good, even better than he normally do. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't piss me off to save my life.
So
Yeah,
we all
celebrate good
know
times, right?
we all know what my thought process was. I was ecstatic. Listen, I couldn't wait to be able to get on here and go hooray. It was so much so that I made a short about it, and I didn't have my voice at that time. So I'm just as loud as I could possibly be with my headphones, like I had the volume cranked up so that I can actually be heard. But I mean, you should have seen me, and everybody at my house is laughing at me because I'm squealing around the house. You can't hear nothing. It was absolutely nuts. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. I got the video out, and I'm grateful to be able to be here now to talk about it. It has to be one of the greater moments I think in recent Raven history because of everything the franchise has been through. Um, we're heading in a new direction, and I know a lot of people don't like this Jesse Minter hire um, because of where he came from, because of his history. I'm at a point where I've dealt with John Harbaugh for so long that I'm willing to just give him a shot. I'm willing to give him a shot, give him a chance, come in here, do whatever it is you got to do. But I'm ready. So I, I'm my mind's open to it. I want to see what happens. Bring the smoke. Jesse Minter, I believe, as long as he brings in the right offensive coordinator, right, that's going to be key. Um, one of the rumors that hurt me, and I'll get your take on this, was the thought of bringing in Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator, and then it was Cliff Kingsbury. I don't like those two choices. Cliff. I don't really have a problem with. He has shown the ability to be very creative offensively, and he didn't necessarily have his weapons in Washington. You know, your quarterback was hurt, your receivers in and out, running backs hurt, O line hurt. So I wouldn't mind giving Cliff a shot because he doesn't have to stay long term. But let's see what it looks like for a year, maybe. Um, Greg, I do not want to see step foot in M&T Bank Stadium ever again. Not as a Raven. But let me get your thoughts on that and who you would like to see as a coordinator.
I mean, Shieldhouse, I'd take him as offensive coordinator right now. I mean, it's really our only good option. Um, quite frankly, I don't have a problem with Minter. That being said, I do have a problem with the fact that we hired him. Yes, he can be a great coach. But if you were going to go defensive, the best defensive coach available is Flores. I mean,
It
flat
wasn't.
out.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
I
say
don't think
again?
it was just about the best defensive coach available. For the Ravens, it was about not only but familiarity, right? He's familiar with the system. He's familiar with, you know, how things run in Baltimore.
Yeah,
Um,
that's well
so
and
he
good,
knows how the
but
front office works and everybody. I think that was the key behind that hiring. But I mean, I
does
can't be
that
too upset
translate to
about
more
that
wins?
because then I should have been upset if we thought about keeping Mike McDonald, right? Because he kind of come from that same. He came from the hardball tree as well.
Nope. Nope.
Huh?
We can't. See, you talking about the Harbaugh tree. I'm not talking about the Harbaugh tree. I'm talking about the best available defensive coach in this cycle was
I no,
Flores.
I know that. I know that.
But you
I
said
know
the
that. But
Harbaugh
I'm
tree. I
saying
don't
the
have,
reason
I don't
why.
have
Yeah, but the
anything to
reason
do
I
with the
brought it up.
Harbaugh tree doesn't bother me. People say the Harbaugh tree. I
Well,
will not
no,
say
no,
the
no. I'm
Harbaugh
saying the
tree.
reason I brought it up is because other people have said the hardball. It's a problem because he was raised higher for the hardball tree. But so was Mike McDonald, and he turned out good. So what I'm saying is it's a combination for the Ravens. They sat there. They said, okay, we go with this guy who we have never had business with, or we could bring in this guy who we have had business with. And I was saying I started to get upset about it because it was a familiar hire. But with that being the
That
case,
part didn't bother me.
then I should have been upset with the thought of Mike McDonald as head coach. That's what I was saying. But I wasn't because Mike McDonald is not Harbaugh. So the same can be said here. Jesse Minter might not be like Harbaugh. So I have to, me as well as other Ravens fans, have to kind of sit back and give him a chance to be his own head coach and come in and do whatever he's going to do to upgrade this team.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that Harbaugh thing. Yeah, the Harbaugh thing doesn't bother me at all. But I feel like we are back to doing familiarity over best available. Like we always say, best available, best available. Then we don't go best available. Mike Minter is the best available defensive coordinator now, but when Flores walked into the building and he wasn't signed back with the Vikings, he was the best available. Do I think
Yeah, I think
Mentor, good OC is going to do great? Yeah, I think he's going to do great. But at the end of the day, I want the best. And if we're not going for the best, I don't understand the point or the purpose.
yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from with that. But to me, for being real, I want an offensive minded coach. Um, I would have been
I
happy
did
with them
too.
calling Byron Leftwich. Um, so
I
uh,
wanted I wanted Clint actually. That was my
Clay
I
Kubiak, yeah,
wanted
that
Clint,
was a great pick. That would have
right.
been a
And if
good
we
one
didn't
too.
get
Yeah,
Clint, then I wanted Flores. But I wanted an offensive minded coach because as long as we have a decent defense, Lamar is going to do the rest for the most part. So if we have an offensive coach, cool. But I mean, if you hire a defensive coach, hire the best defensive coach, and then hire the best offensive coordinator you can. Go an offensive coach, hire the best offensive coach you can, and find the best defensive coordinator that you can. Because there's guys who we could have hired who were the defensive, the assistant defensive coach who would call a game as well as a system as good as Mentor would, and vice versa. As far as if we had a offensive coach, defensive coach, it doesn't matter. You could find somebody who would match. But I think Clint is far and away the best offensive coach that's available now. Mentor, he's as good as some and better than some, but he's just not the top. You have to get the top on one side and just the best you can on the other side.
yeah, no. At the end of the day, I think they've decided to go as close as they possibly could. And for all I know, money could have had something to do with it too. Maybe maybe Jesse's getting paid less than Brian was gonna get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for the millies, for the billies. that they gonna get, I don't give a goddamn. I don't care
I
if you
don't
pay
either.
Flores $1 million
As a fan, I
for
don't
the
either.
amount, right? For the amount that they're gonna get in just the new TV deal that's coming up. Pay that man $15 million if you got to. You gonna make it back.
Yeah, no, I agree. As a fan, you're rich, dish out the cash. But from a business perspective, if that's something they came back and said, if they said, "Hey, listen, Brian wanted some ridiculous, he wanted to have control of all this and this and that, and and Jesse was willing to work with us a little better," I'm perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean? But if it was just a thing where you knew from the jump you wanted to hire Jesse and you interviewed all these other people just to interview him, that bothers me. That shows
To
no
me,
growth.
if Brian Flores isn't asking for control over the roster, give him what the hell he wants. You won 2 championships before you turn 85 in what, 10 years, he said? Before he turns 85, he wants to get 2 championships before he turns 85 and sells a team. What you care about money for? You should only care about them W's stacking.
No, I agree. I agree.
Like you
I
said,
tell you what,
we won the third most games in the last how many years, but that didn't do anything for the playoffs. Well, guess what? I mean, you're going to pay Flores or Minter. You're going to be paying them less than you were paying Harbaugh. So why not? Hell, even pay them the same because Harbaugh wasn't even doing his job for the money you was paying him.
yeah, I just think maybe it was a control thing. Maybe Flores, not just over the roster, but maybe he was just kind of wanted this, kind of like Harbaugh wants it, where he doesn't have to do EDC. Maybe he wanted that, and maybe this time around, he was just like, listen, we're not doing that again. We're trying to be better than that.
Really,
So,
Jay?
Jay kick rocks, bro. Straight up, Jay kick rocks, Jay.
With your Jesus sandals on.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that's the case. But I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see some hires. Um, who
Yeah,
he
when I
brings
see
in
the
as DC
OC,
matters, but it doesn't matter. Who he brings in as OC is the big one now.
who he brings in is that's so what most people don't understand about the NFL is when your head coach is calling the defensive plays the same way. Jay, don't be like that. The same way that Mike McDonald is calling the plays in Seattle,
Keep rocking, boy.
the defensive coordinator is a research guy. He's researching certain things. Like Mike McDonald's going to say, "Hey, I noticed this, this, and this. Here's what I want our defensive whatever to be." And the defensive coordinator is now a research guy because guess what? The coach is going to call the plays. Just like Shellhouse said, he goes and he pulls up the type of plays that McVay wants to run on that Sunday based on what McVay saw on the basically what he saw on the game tape. So he'll go and he'll pull up those plays and he'll get them to McVay, and then they'll install the offense that way. And then McVay's going to make all the play calls at that point in time. So whoever Minter brings in is going to be told, "Hey, I need you. I looked at the tape. I noticed this, this, and this. This is the game plan I want to run on Sunday." And now your defensive coordinator is no more than a glorified research guy.
Salute Jared. Um,
So, Jared,
another great content creator. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Jared's channel, please go subscribe. The Southern Baller Show is fire. All right, go subscribe to my boy. He always got that heat coming out.
you could subscribe to Jada Six. He should be up here to plug his own stuff, but he
Nah,
all of a sudden
Jake kick rocks. You want to act like he acting tonight? He kick rocks, Jake.
he had to work
Kick
all of a
rocks.
sudden, quote unquote.
But so I'm with you 100% on that, right? That's why I say technically who he chooses as DC doesn't matter. It's the offensive coordinator that matters now. Uh, with that being said, would you? What are your thoughts now on Zoe as maybe a linebackers coach rather than a defensive coordinator?
Nah, he got to go.
Go entirely, right? Okay, cool. So we're on the
The
same page. So
reason I say that is you were here. All you had to do was worry about the linebackers. And you didn't pick up anything from Mike Macdonald. 2 years of it's almost 10, but 2 years of shut things down, point blank period. Here's how, because Mike Macdonald came in his first year. They say, yeah, he was calling the plays and he was this and the third. And he noticed that didn't make enough of a difference for him. Like, to him, okay, I need to do a little bit more. So the second year, he comes in, he's teaching the guys, hey, when he makes a check, when the right corner makes a check, it needs to travel to the left corner. When a safety makes a check, it needs to travel to the corners and down to the safety. Like, everybody needs to communicate what everybody's doing. And he said he also realized everybody should know what everybody's doing. Like, you're like Trenton Simpson could be the joker linebacker. Hey, if we call a certain package, he might be the slot corner, and he needs to know what the responsibility of the slot corner is, as well as the guy who's a joker linebacker who's lined up 6 feet away from him. Everybody needs to know everybody's stuff so the synergy's properly and the communication's right. And at that point in time, you got Owe getting 10 sacks. You got Matabike in the middle getting 10 sacks. You still got the backup defensive tackle getting 4 or 5 sacks. Like, we leading sacks, we leading points per game. I think we might have led in your yards also. We had a triple crown defensively. And you saw all this mastery go on over 2 years of maturation. And over your 2 years, you didn't implement one of those things. Like, you didn't have to implement it the first year. All you had to do was preach what was preached that made that defense number one the year before. All you had to do was pretty much go out there and preach the same sermon that the pastor last week preached that made him $2,000 in collections. And instead, you said, you know what, let me go do this my way and see if I can make $4,000 in collections. And when that didn't work and the collections actually went down, you didn't reflect and say, yo, how things were before, maybe I should take that and I should try and improve on it. None of that. He didn't do any of that.
You know what?
It's like a guy making $1 million in front of you and you not listening, and making $500 and not even thinking to say, you know what? Maybe I should do it the way that the guy who made $1 million and retired did it.
You know what, though? I look back at this season and I saw something I saw this season that I didn't see when Mike Macdonald was there. Okay. It's John Harbaugh with a play sheet calling defensive plays. I want to say, and I know most people won't agree with me on this. I want to say that Zoe was literally just a placeholder. I think John, he was I think he was just a puppet. I think that's the reason why when people criticize the defense, John never threw Zoe under the bus. He just said, guys got to make plays, guys got to be in the right position. But he never threw Zoe under the bus. But he was quick to throw Todd under the bus with the offense. So I think we pay attention to that. I think we pay attention to that. I think John was the one pulling the strings there.
Todd is in New York with Harbaugh, and Zoe is not.
Yeah, because he realized he can't be calling defensive plays.
But it's not even the play calling that I was pointing out, because anybody could have called the plays with the way our defense was working. It's the coaching. He didn't coach the players the same way. He didn't follow the nuances. Even if John was calling those cover threes, when you watch the film, these guys have turned their back to the QB to run to a spot in the zone and then turn around and look at the QB and no movement is made. They're oblivious to the crosser behind them. They don't even see that somebody is standing in a zone between the two of them, 2 yards behind them, and the QB just has to give enough touch to float it over both of those guys. He did not
Well, you know what I say
teach
to that?
defense.
You know what I
He
say to
just
that?
was letting plays be called.
You know what I say to that? Go look at practice tape. John Harbaugh is out there running around with the defense too. But also, I say, what do you expect from Zoe? Being as young as he is, he's not even a full student of the game. The man played linebacker for a few years and was about to turn out to be a very good one, but he was not strong in coverage. So
I'm
the
just saying you
linebackers
follow
he
the
went
guy
out there
before
and
you.
taught them. He went out there and taught them whatever it was he knew, which means he wasn't being taught anything.
He watched Mike
And then
McDonald like you. I'm
you can
telling you
watch
right
Mike
now, if you
McDonald all
sit
you
there,
want. Mike McDonald wasn't out there. He was the linebackers coach when Mike McDonald was here. So he could watch
and
Mike McDonald when he want. If he's out
you
there
learn
teaching
from the
linebackers to
guy.
do a certain thing, that it's always going to be that way.
How many
You know what
players
I'm saying?
came to the Ravens and said, "Hey, I learned certain things just by watching how Ray was doing it. I learned certain things by just watching how Suggs was doing it. I learned certain things by watching how Ed Reed was doing it. These guys might not even have been playing the same position as Ed Reed, but they learned shit from watching him, or they went and found out. What I'm saying is, yes, Zoe's young, and that's all well and good. But if you see a mastery at work and you don't find your way into that class somehow, you can still ask the guys next to him, because Weaver and two other guys went to different places and they had way more success defensively than Orr did.
Yeah, but if we're gonna
And
look,
one of them was a cornerbacks coach.
So, but who's to say if he did pick up on those P's and Q's that John Harbaugh wasn't out there like, no, we're gonna do it this way. I'm calling the shots. We're gonna do it this way, because that is the guy that John Harbaugh is. We know this already.
We're not talking about calling plays. We're talking about teaching guys to communicate.
Preaching.
What if communicate with
this is what I'm saying. John Harbaugh's out there running the defense. Right? I'm not talking about just the playbook. I'm not talking about just calling plays. I'm talking about running the team as a whole.
Plays. I'm talking about the rest of it. If you don't have to call plays, you better be able to teach your guys how to drop into a zone coverage. You better be able to teach your guys, hey, communicate, because they're not communicating. We see after the play, and this guy's already burned us for 30 yards of the touchdown, you see Rowe turn around and look at the other linebacker like, I thought you were supposed to be there. And then you see Marlowe look all the way across the field at Awuzie like, hey, you were supposed to carry that third up the field. How come you stop 5 yards deep? These guys don't even know what the hell we're running. So if you can't teach them the fine points of, this is your zone. When you drop back in your zone, you're supposed to see that wide. You're supposed to be paying attention to the wide receivers who could be crossing right behind you. If you can't teach him simple stuff like that, I'm not an NFL coach, and I could teach your ass that. I could teach you, hey, when you drop into the zone, you have to understand, when you've been watching tape on these guys all day, because we're going to watch tape on these guys. Hey, when they line up in this, one of those wide receivers is going to cross. That's just what they run. When they line up in this, one of the receivers is going to get 8 yards deep, and he's going to do it in. And if it's not available, he's going to work his way across the field to see it. He wasn't teaching the important, simple facts of tape. You have a defensive coordinator who has time with the whole defense to show them tape and, hey, this is XYZ, this is XYZ. You have a defensive coordinator who can say, hey, go to the cornerbacks coach. Hey, you need to tell your guys, when they're in this situation, one guy needs to be 2 yards back. One guy needs to be on the line of scrimmage. Our cornerbacks are lined up right next to each other. So on a crossing route, they don't even yell banjo and switch out on who they're guarding. They run into each other like idiots. These are simple things that I know to teach a JV high school team. You're telling me that Rowe sat there and didn't get any instruction from Zoe? Zoe should be able to tell these guys the exact same things upside down.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
But what I'm saying is, I'm saying is, What if Harbaugh is telling him, what if Zoe is trying to teach these things or different things? And Harbaugh is like, no, we're not doing it that way. This is what I want
Then
you to
guess
do.
what? And then guess what? You teach it anyways because that's what's going to save
You
your
can't, if
job.
you're in his position, you can't, because you're like,
Yeah.
well, he's going to fire me. Because that's,
And guess what?
think
And
about it.
you'll get fired for doing the right thing because right now
And,
he might get the D coordinator as the damn Cowboys, and if that don't work out, he'll never be a coach again in this league.
well, okay, and that's perfectly fine, right? So we'll see we'll see what happens when he goes somewhere else. But the point I've been making is there's a reason why guys come in and all our court we change coordinators constantly, and 90% of the time the look of the defense or the look of the offense doesn't change. Is because John Harbaugh picks the side of the ball and says, "No, we're going to stick to what I want to do here."
We did that on
And I
offense.
think that's exactly what he did to Zoe. I think he went to Zoe and he said, because like we always say, John didn't want anybody else coming in there, especially after Mike McDonald did so good and went and got a head coaching job. He said, I don't want anybody else coming in here that could take my job right from under me. So he said, I'm going to go with
So
the young guy who barely knows anything, and I'm going to run this defense. And basically, it's like you just said, when you get a defensive coordinator as your head coach, the other guy that he brings in as DC is really isn't doing much. So I think that might have been that seems like it might have been the situation in Baltimore with John Harbaugh. It seems like he was like, I'm gonna save my job because I'm gonna control this defense, and Zoe's gonna be a figurehead because he came out, and I wouldn't feel this way if he came out and threw Zoe under the bus at least once, but he never did. So because of that, I'm saying Zoe didn't have much power in this defense, and John was out there in the practice. And if you watch any of the practices, John's out there running with the DBs. John's out there running with the linebackers. John's talking to the pass rushers. So he's telling these guys, this is what I want you to do. And those other coaches are just like, okay, because that's their job. Their job at that point is just okay. Whereas on offense, he's like, okay, after that first year, he's like, I'm going to hand the reins over to you, Todd. Get it done. And then whenever there was a screw up, what did he do? He got down Todd's throat, jumped all over Paul's, jumped all over Todd, threw him all under the bus. And I think that's because he truly let Todd run the majority of the offense. And you notice that you get that sense, especially when he goes into a press conference and says, well, it's not my call which running back goes on the field at that time. That's when everybody was like, yeah, you're the head coach. You can override. Because clearly he decided, I'm going to let Todd run this offense and I'm going to step aside and I'm going to focus on running the defense. That's why he had the play sheet on defense. That's why he was making calls on defense. That's why in practice he was always running with the defense. It's because John was running that defense. And that's why he never threw Zoe under the bus, because he didn't want it to come out that he was the one running the defense. I guarantee it. Because before he left Philly, he was also a DB's coach. So he swears he knows defense. I'm thinking Zoe took a hit because of Harbaugh. And I get that guys like me, guys like you, and other people we know would have said, no, John, this is the way I'm doing it because this is the job you gave me. I'm going to do it my way. Zoe's too young in the NFL. This is different. The NFL is different. So as a young man getting a shot like that in the NFL, he probably was like, all right, let me just roll with it until he finally gives me the reins. And that probably was his thought process, because he knew John wasn't going to throw him under the bus because of the situation. And he did. But now John's kind of like, now that he done got fired and the defense was a big part of it, John's now trying to distance himself from Zoe as if it was Zoe's fault. And he's going to try to find a real defensive coordinator to run things out in New York. And Zoe's trying to find a job somewhere else with a messed up resume because of John. And I think I seriously think that's what happened based off of what I heard come out of John's mouth throughout the year. Not just off of observation. I mean, that too, but based off of what I hear from John, that because he always swore the defense is fine. The defense is going to be okay. Defense is fine. We just got to make a few adjustments. Defense is fine. Defense is fine. As soon as the offense made a mistake, we got to fix that. I don't know what Todd was thinking. He would literally throw Todd under the bus. That tells me I'm protecting myself because I'm in charge of the defense and Todd's in charge of the offense. That's what I deducted from that. So I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm saying we agree, but I think John he overpowered Zoe in that situation. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he's going to keep him from teaching technique, but it's clear to me by watching all the interviews that Todd did that John already knew Todd is brainwashed, and Todd's going to say whatever is going to be in John's best interest. Todd's not going to throw John under the bus. Todd would every interview. Todd says, "Oh, John's one of the top 2 coaches that I've ever coached with all time." You know how blasphemous that sounds when you look at all the places that Todd has coached, and you're going to try and tell me that Todd really believes in his heart of hearts that John Harbaugh is the second best coach that he's ever coached with. No. As a guy who's been an OC for probably as many or more years than John has been a coach in the NFL, I'm not possibly going to believe that. And whether he was running with the DBs or not, he could be all day, but he doesn't have time to micromanage the DBs and the offense as he was micromanaging. And Todd definitely was calling the type of plays that he heard come over the walkie. Hey, Todd, we're up by 15. You need to start running the ball 7 out of 10 plays.
I don't disagree with you. I think he had some hand in some of the plays he was calling on offense as well. But I think, and when Todd says something like, he's one of the best coaches I've ever coached with,
Top 2.
Of course he's going to say something like, top 2. Of course he's going to say something like that. Most coordinators would say that about their current head coach.
This was after Harbaugh got fired.
Well, yeah, but okay. Well, he just finished working with the guy. He's not going to say there was turmoil there. They're trying to keep that in house.
He finished working with him because he's trying to bring him in as the OC on the Giants, and he also fired the Giants offensive line coach so he can get Warhop in there. So everybody's going there except for Orr.
I know, and you know what? That's why I'm saying Zach Orr is going to end up being his scapegoat after the fact. Because, like I said, you trusted, like you just said, you trusted Todd to run the offense. You just, dipped your hand in there on a play or two because you're big-headed, cocky. But because you was running that defense, you can't let people see. If you bring Zach Orr in, that means you plan on running the defense again. John probably doesn't plan on running the defense again. He didn't even, if you remember, just over, I want to say a year, maybe 2 years ago, John said he would rather retire than do a complete rebuild. The Giants have the young pieces in place already, but he's not trying to go over there and be running that defense. He wants all power over top to not have to deal with anything else. You get what I'm saying? So like he wants to select his roster, he wants to select his staff, he wants to let those guys go to work. I think he wants an actual defensive coordinator this time around, rather than having Zoe there as a figurehead, because I swear that's all he was a figurehead.
He's talking about hiring Rex Ryan as the defensive coordinator for the Giants. So I can take whatever he says with a grain of salt at this point.
Pretty much. And Rex Ryan, I didn't even think Rex Ryan liked Harbaugh like that in the beginning. But it is what it is. What up, Fairs? We all here. Well, Jay's not here. Jay's missing in action. But I just feel like Zoe was put in a position by Harbaugh, and I would love to see Zoe get a job somewhere and go prove people wrong. I don't want him to get the job here though. I am sick. Fear. I've been sick for about 2 to 3 weeks now. So yeah.
Man, Big Joe.
Salute, brother. Big Jones building. Salute. Yeah, man.
I
I
feel
just I feel
I'm
like
of the essence. I understand what you're saying, but from what I've seen from Orr, I do not believe that that man teaches the finer nuances of defense to anybody. Like none of our all of our players regressed. All of them
I don't
regressed
think he
talent
does
position
either.
wise.
I don't think he
And
does
that's what
either.
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Is like the 2 years that you were here and you saw the difference that nuance and certain little things make. You're a linebacker. Nuance is everything to a linebacker. It to me, it just screamed that you saw Mike Macdonald teach these nuances and everything in the game, and you just never did that. And it showed. Like I say, even if you called plays wrong, it should at least show on the tape that certain nuances to route combinations and concepts were taught to players. You don't have to tell them, hey, you have to run it this way. But simple things like yelling out banjo when you want to switch receivers because you're doing a crossing route and you don't want to get picked, that's that's not something John Harbaugh wouldn't even know what that is to tell you not to teach them that. There's certain things that
But he would. But he
it just
thinks he
shows that
does
he
though.
didn't teach anything. He just got
But he
there and was
thinks
like,
he
"Hey, the
does
plays
though.
are going to be called."
You gotta
You
realize
said
John
what?
Harbaugh thinks he knows everything. He feels he knows everything. Remember, he was a DB's coach.
Yeah,
So
I
he
understand
thinks
that,
that
but I'm
that's
saying
exactly
on
why I
certain
say,
nuances, you can teach players. John can say, "Hey, I want you to drop and do this, or I want you to do that," but it's still certain nuances that you can teach these players that will keep them from running into each other like idiots in the middle of a play. Will keep a guy from saying, "Oh, I thought you were going to carry him up the field." No, we communicated before the play that you weren't. They weren't communicating and they weren't doing certain nuanced things, even in as positional players. There are certain positional nuances that they weren't doing. And if you're the defensive coordinator, my bad, if you're a defensive coordinator, you need to go to your defensive backs coach and be like, hey, stop letting these guys line up 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, 2 feet apart from each other so they get picked. Hey, as a linebacker, when our defensive tackle fills that gap, you need to fire. Stop waiting. Like we saw the defensive line fire through and turn a cut back or force a cut wide, and the linebackers didn't fire off of it. And we're just like, so did you think that Travis Jones was gonna knock his guy back and catch Jahmyr Gibbs at the same time? You're supposed to be there to shut the door on his back cut that he was forced to make because the defensive lineman blew it up. Our players weren't taught those things. So yeah, or he had to go. He did not continue what was already in place that worked so well. Because trust me, if he continued certain things that Mike Macdonald did to make us the number one defense, I don't see how John has a problem. And if John does have a problem, that's when you go to the owner and say, hey, the stuff that Mike Macdonald was teaching that was making us successful, I'm being told not to teach it. If y'all need to mutually part ways, I understand, but I'm not going to be the defensive coordinator running running a bottom five defense because I'm being told that things that are supposed to be taught, I'm not allowed to teach. Just like I say, EDC needed to go there in the office and talk to Steve and say, hey, I got this trade lined up, but John has a problem with it. But these are two players that we need to make it work. I drafted Vincent and I also drafted Emory Jones, and they're better than 72 and 77. John won't play them, and we're losing games because of it. We already injured Lamar because of it. If you're not willing to go and step up and do what you got to do to make this team better, hey, you got to go. If you went along to get along, then you're going to be going along.
but it's already been said that John already stated that in Baltimore he went straight to the owner with things. He didn't really go over things with EDC.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, as
So
EDC,
EDC had no power. So going
if you
to
have the ability, then you need to go in there and you need to state your case. And if it's not going to work out for you, it ain't going to work out for you. You at least got to stand up for something. Because now
Even
at
if
this
he
point,
did, for we know, Zoe did do that, but it means nothing if the power goes through John Harbaugh. Means absolutely nothing.
and now you're in a position where the owner's basically telling you, hey, you got a couple years to work this shit out or you out. So not standing up for yourself didn't work out.
Hey, Devon, you're absolutely right, and you're right. He wouldn't snitch on his best friend. I mean, supposedly EDC cried when he found out after they had decided they was going to let John go.
Guess what? It's 10
EDC was
o'clock,
in
so I can
tears.
say this loud and proud. You ready for this? You ready? He cried like a little
So,
bitch at a press conference. And when John took the
so
new job, he didn't even fucking mention EDC. So guess what? Going along to get along, and you got left the fuck alone.
hey, that
EDC
tends to
sat
be how
there
it
and
goes.
almost cried, and John didn't even
But
mention him.
that's John Harbaugh though, ain't he? Ain't we've been calling him Petty John for how long now?
Exactly.
John's
So
petty.
you should have stood your ground when you had to, because guess what? You did all this stuff trying to protect this man's job and everything. He accepted a new job, and he thanks everybody but EDC and the fans.
And
So
you
what was the
gotta
point of
realize
you
you
his
gotta
back?
realize Zoe was in an even worse position than EDC, which is why I think he would just take whatever Harbaugh said because he was a linebacker under Harbaugh. And then Harbaugh brought him in as a coach because of what happened to where he had the career or the life threatening, possibility if he continued to play. So I think the man was just too humble to ever go and say anything against Harbaugh because he was given, and that's part of the Harbaugh power that comes with your being the type of person where you make sure your people are taken care of. That's the power that comes with it. Is that if you're doing something wrong, something goes wrong, they're not going to say anything. What's good, Urban? Oh, for those who don't know, Urban got the fire beats. Okay. You need a hit, find Urban. So that's part of that horrible power. Is I did this for you. You're gonna turn, you know what I mean? Guilt. Guilt. It's guilt. The power of guilt. And when you gotta realize certain businesses are a monopoly. And the NFL is one of them. You know what I mean? If somebody hears, as soon as a franchise hears, oh, um, yeah, Zoe's going over his head coach's head to go talk about him to the owner. I don't want that type of guy on my staff. He screws himself over anyway. So I think once you're put in a position, you kind of just got to roll with the punches and hope you get another chance or hope things change. And that's kind of where he is. I don't think there was anything he could have did about it in this situation because the NFL is a monopoly, and he's a black man in the middle of the monopoly. So it's not much he could have did. He was going to take that fall either way. Um,
We
but
had a mutual separation of ways.
going into the draft and the off season, what are some differences in how you would like to see EDC run this team? Because I'm assuming he's finally going to have power now. What are some of the things you'd like to see him change in the steps he goes about building this roster?
I just need him to actually get the best player available for once. I mean, I would not be upset if he traded out of the 14th pick and got a later pick in the first and an earlier pick in the second and got two guards. But quite honestly, I'm expecting him to use all his picks because you should be targeting the absolute best free agents that you can in free agency, and then whatever you can't target in free agency to improve, you should be backfilling that through the draft and getting the best players you can in the draft. Because guess what? You're going to have to do with all the free agents we have. You're going to have to do what the Rams did when they mortgaged their future and they got Jalen Ramsey and they got all the defensive line help they got. And they got a couple of linebackers and some receivers. You got Odell that came in for a year. Well, guess what? 2 years later, they had 15 some odd picks and they hit on at least 10 of those picks and got a couple free agents, and they're back to the team that they are now. Still going to the what is it, the NFC Championship this weekend?
Yeah, NFC Championship.
So
And you know
get the
what?
best free agents
That's a
that you
good,
can and fill it out with rookies.
and that's great coaching over there too, right? So you got everything's going for that franchise from the top to the bottom. You got the GM doing what he's got to do, the owner okay and everything they want to do, and then you got the coach, coaching up the guys the right way. That's what it looks
Especially
like
have
when
better
things
coaching
flow
now. So
properly. There in Philadelphia, you know what I mean, in San Francisco is what it looks like when things flow properly. I agree with Erdman. I want AC to do better overall. Um, that starts with the draft for me and free agency, obviously, but I think more importantly the draft. Um, yeah, that tends to be our thing. But you know what? I think that was a John Harbaugh thing, right? I think John Harbaugh, because John Harbaugh, in a number of times in the past, did state that he doesn't like to start rookies. So he would draft a guy and then rather have the rookie sit behind the vet. So I think maybe stuff like that changes going forward. And we really get to see the young talent get used. And I think we get to see them finally develop. Because a guy like Jesse Minter, in the short amount of time that he got his hands on Oweh, and yes, he had other guys there, but he unlocked something in Oweh that Baltimore couldn't. 7.5 sacks in less than half a season, or just about half a season. That's amazing. So to bring Jesse in and have Jesse have the ability to unlock players' skill level is something I can't wait to see happen, especially with the young guys we have. Like a Trenton Simpson, like Nate Wiggins, what else can he do with Colin Hamilton? There's guys we have talent. You know what I mean? Travis Jones. There's guys here that once he gets his hand on them, he's got them running stunts up front. You know what I mean? And making these plays. And don't forget, he has a history with Ojabo, another young guy that we have who may or may not be here next year. But if he is, maybe he can, get his hands on Ojabo and finally get something out of him. Adisa Isaac, like Jada Six just said. You know what I'm saying? Young guys like that. And then when you draft now, with a new head coach and a new staff, you're drafting with a purpose. You're not just drafting just because with John Harbaugh, you were drafting for the bench and for special teams because that's what he wanted those guys for. He didn't want them playing; he wanted them on special teams. A lot of our rookies played because of injury; otherwise, they wouldn't have been playing. Right now, you get a guy in there, and you're drafting for specific reasons, specific positions. You're drafting for growth and bettering the team. So for me, the number one other thing I want to see is the difference in our draft philosophy and how we use these rookies. And then I want to see you attack. I want to see you attack free agency early rather than wait until the second or third wave of free agency. Attack early. Go out and get the 1 or 2, 3 guys you really want, and you go from there. Right? I think that's one of the big keys. Try to bring back Isaiah Likely. Maybe trade Mark Andrews for a third, fourth round pick. I think that's what you extend them for. I think they extend them to be able to get trade value out of them. So maybe you could pull that off on a draft day trade, have him moved. As Modi's in the building, what's good? So
sure, as
maybe
he's the newest guy in the Discord. He actually followed me earlier yesterday or
okay, there
earlier
we go.
today.
Hey man, you got that Discord popping. Like I said, I'm proud of you, man. Y'all been holding it down. You and Jay. I guess that first wave of free agency is going to tell us a lot, isn't it? If they target veteran offensive linemen.
It may not. Well, it may not because I've always said free agency should be after the draft because
I agree.
so many GMs try to select. They try to say, "Hey, I'm not going to pay $10 million for this guy because there's a rookie that I have my eye on who's a better player." And he's going to cost less. He's going to be younger and more effective for longer. And then you get to the draft and you're like, bet I'm gonna draft this guy at 14, even though he should be drafted at number 28. And then all of a sudden the Colts trade up to number 13 to draft the one guy that you wanted. Now you're like, crap, I should have took that veteran.
Urban Adisa is boo boo, but maybe Jesse can turn that around because Owe was boo boo. Owe was boo boo juice for about half the season.
To us,
and then Jesse got a hold of him.
So right now,
7.5 sacks.
The thing, so right now, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound asinine. Outside of 77 and 72, all of our players are clean slated right now because we had trash coaching. Even a good player with bad coaching is not going to be worth the time and effort. Honestly, if the coaching is bad, it doesn't matter about the player unless you have Ray Lewis or you have Ed Reed or you have Jonathan Ogden. If you don't have those type of players that are just going to be good because they're them, if you don't have a Sean Taylor to be good on a terrible Redskins defense, then it is what it is. If you don't have Bob Sanders on a terrible Colts defense to make them what it is, then that's that. Those are guys who know lack of coaching won't matter because they're going to be them. They are them, point blank, period. But everybody else in between, Warhop was trash. Warhop was teaching to grab the outside of guys' shoulders for blocking play. Like, unless the player's completely stupid, a good coach can fix those small things because there's guys that are on the Bills offensive line who were kicking our ass that, let's be honest, if they didn't have the coaching that they had, we'd have been kicking their ass.
So real quick, I just want to bring this up because as Moody brings up Mesidor, and I don't think Mesidor is going to fall to the second. I honestly think, oh gosh, I'm going to get extreme backlash for this, especially if Coach ends up hearing this. I think Mesidor is better than Bain. And I love Bain. I love both of them. They're both great DNs. Miami also had great D tackles there. I just feel like Mesidor is more of a pure skilled speed rusher than Bain. Bain is more of a power guy. He's more of a speed to power guy. So he'll give you a short burst. So he gets burst of speed in short areas. He has short area quickness. So he turns that quickness into power to beat the tackle. But I said this before in a chat, and Fears thought I was out of my mind at first when I said it. But Bain reminds me of Courtney Upshaw when Courtney Upshaw was in college. Now the problem with that is Courtney was a short area quickness guy. He used speed to power. He was a phenomenal rusher when he was used to rush. Most of the time he was at outside linebacker because the way they ran defense, they ran a multiple defense, so they moved guys all over the place, right? But their numbers are similar as far as if you look at sacks per year. So when he was used as an edge rusher, he used power moves. He wasn't necessarily fast, but he was quick. And it, looked good in college, but in the NFL, it didn't translate. And that could be because he was technically positionless in college. But for Bain, I'm interested. I think his success is going to depend on where he lands. I don't think he can go just anywhere and be dominant. He's going to have to go to a 4-3 defense and be able to use that quickness off the edge, that short area quickness off the edge, and be able to get that, turn that into power and push these D tackles, these NFL tackles back, which I don't know if he can with all of them. Some of these offensive tackles in the NFL is just built different. So I don't know he's going to be as big of an impact as people think he is. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I really like the kid, so I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm just saying I don't think he is what everybody else thinks he is. But no, most people feel that Bane is the better one. See, well, when I watched him, I saw Bane use a lot of power moves and swim moves, whereas, or sorry, power moves and chop moves. Whereas Mesidor, I felt he used a lot of spins, up and unders. He was really about going around the tackle more than going through them. But it depends on lineup too. No, Jay, the league is not letting
Urban,
Bane fall for the Panthers.
Urban, that's cocaine talk right there. Get that person help.
Lindy's listen. I had to apologize because Linderbaum ended up a way better center than I thought he would ever be. I felt because Linderbaum being undersized that he wasn't going to be good on our offense because of who he played. But he turned out to be great. So we need to go ahead and bring him back. He's a top center in the league. Go ahead and bring him back. Cocaine talk is wild, right? Cocaine talk is wild. Yeah, no. We all agree Lindy should be back. He should be back. And yes, I agree. That's over Likely too. I take him over Likely too. But I think Likely is another guy that needs to come back. I think there's a few guys that I would contemplate bringing back. Lindy, Likely, yeah, I ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. Yeah, we could trade Derrick Henry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. We could trade Derrick Henry. Get a good young running back. Yeah, I said it. Get a good young.
I mean, I'm
back.
not. The only thing what I think is necessary is I think that EDC re-signed Mark at the behest of John, only to find out John got fired. I really think that was one of them things that John wanted Mark re-signed, so EDC did it, and then John got fired, and now Mark is sitting there looking crazy, and EDC sitting there looking crazy like crap. Reg doesn't make clips for YouTube.
I don't. I just make I make random shorts where I pop up and I talk about something on my shorts real quick. But I don't clip my show, which I probably should clip the show, but
you should
go back to clip the show. Yes. Whenever I get time. I should have time this weekend, so I'll probably clip it this weekend.
There's this program that does that.
Yeah, no, I know. I told you about the program, right?
Yeah. You don't seem to use
crazy how that works, right? I told you about it. You use it, but I don't.
It's even to the point where StreamYard does it for you too. For free.
So Jay, I got no problem saying that for everybody. It's time to go younger at running back. I got no problem with that. Because we're currently doing running back by committee anyway. And with the way he's been fumbling lately, he's only getting older. And I'm not saying he's not going to have another great year. I think he is. But why not go younger and cheaper?
No.
You go younger and cheaper. You improve the offensive line with the money that you get left over from that. You improve your wide receiver position. You know what I'm saying? And you keep going. You build out that defense, get you some pass rushers. I think that's small things. I think the Ravens, as a roster, need to get younger. I know it sounds crazy, but it's facts. You know what I mean? Guys like Calvin Oy, he can go. Rowe can go. You know what I mean? Derrick Henry can go. Love DeAndre Hopkins, but he can go. He can't get any separation. You are essentially eating up a roster spot from a guy like what's my boy? What's the deep threat? They got all the touchdowns. I forgot his
Yes.
name. Yeah, Taz. Like Taz. You know what I'm saying? I know he doesn't get paid much, but it's enough that it could go to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Go build up that offensive line better. Like if we had a great offensive line, you wouldn't need Derrick Henry who could break 5, 6 tackles in the first, 3 yards. He's barely doing that, by the way. His best games come when the line opens the hole for him. So it's not even like he's breaking tackles like he used to. He should. He should.
He should have his retirement party plans.
Touchdown Taz. That's his name. Bro, don't play that. As far as the vets go, I mean, I understand a vet minimum, but 9 times out of 10, if you're here on a vet minimum, it's because nobody else wants you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, how far are we willing to go with that? Because you got to realize with the way the league is now, the league is based on speed. So the more vets we get and more guys we get on a vet minimum, the slower we're getting too. We don't want that because these guys are out here burning people left and right. We want to be able to build a track team too, which EDC once said, right? He wants to build a track team.
Well, you said an unstoppable offense. I mean, to me, I'll be honest with you, we speculating who we should or shouldn't release on offense. Like even like I do mock drafts once a week just for the fun of it, but to me they don't really mean anything until you have the coaches in place. Because I could say, hey, we should get more competition at linebacker. Well, now I don't really feel like we need more competition at linebacker because with Mike Minter, he's going to get better out of the linebackers that we have instead of us having a Zach Orr who, is giving us base level coaching. And if you're getting base level coaching, then your linebackers have to be good. Like they have to be better than what we have. But when you have a Mike Minter who has a game plan, who has a game plan and he can utilize what we have young linebackers. Like Trent Simpson's still a young linebacker. Lisa Isaac is still young. Mike Green is still young. We have young guys in each position because we draft so many defensive players. We have young guys in each position, but we haven't utilized them properly to say, hey, we have a stud player at every level, like we've always had. We've always had a stud defensive lineman. We have Travis Jones. Without him on the field, Matabike is useless. I mean, Matabike can be out there, but when Travis Jones is not out there, Matabike isn't special. We have Roquan. He can't cover for shit. But if you say, hey, we need to diagnose the play and communicate to the other players what is coming so that they can do their job and you can clean it up, cool. We have that. You have Kyle Hamilton. He's on the 3rd level. Guess what? He can play on the 1st, 2nd, or the 3rd level. So you have that stud defensive player straight down the middle of the defense at all 3 levels, but we don't have the proper scheme to utilize them properly. We don't have the coaches to maximize what we already have. You have good enough pieces on defense that you can focus on offense and let Lamar go out there, score 35, and let the other team score 26.
Hey, real quick, just to touch on what you just said, that's part of the reason why I said, right? And then Teddy Buchanan has proved he can do what Rowe does. He can do that. You can put
he definitely can
on Teddy, and you can let him diagnose that offense. He does a tremendous job at it. He's just slow. but he does a great job at what he needs to do. So
You got Trenton
I have
next
no
to him,
problem with
so
that.
it balances.
Yeah. So I have no
It'll
problem
be.
with that. And Trenton picked up his play later in the year. So I have no problem with going younger where you have the coach that can mentor these guys and no pun intended, and get these guys where they need to be. So I have no problem with that.
So I'm not saying we need to trade Rowe, but I'm saying that most of our players are clean slated because with mentor system, there's a way to use them. If you keep Rowe and you have Trenton Simpson next to him, that would be Rowe and Queen 2.0. Because when Rowe had that fast Patrick Queen that he can say, hey, on this play, hit the 6 gap. Don't worry about anything. I got you on the back end. Our defense was firing the hell off. He said, hey, hit that 5 gap on the other side of the center. I'll be here to clean it up. Just go in there, hair on fire, and blow it up, and I'll clean it up on the back end. We look great. PQ and Rowe look great together because PQ was fast enough to do what Rowe needed to get done, and Rowe was a short enough tackler to clean up whatever PQ missed. And Trenton Simpson can be that PQ for us.
Yeah, see, my whole thing is just to because Jared brought up at least keep King Henry around to let him run behind a good old line that his fumbles came from defenses swarming him. Well, here's the thing: even if you put him behind a good offensive line, right, the only way to get Henry down is to swarm him. So teams are going to continue to do that, especially since now they have 2 years of tape where they go, "Hey, he fumbles, team tackle him and punch that ball out." It's a thing now. So it's one of those things that no matter how good your line is, that's going to be their plan. So say he does get blocks and gets to that second level. Well, now those linebackers and those DBs are going to team tackle and punch at that ball. So Henry is going to be a liability unless he stops fumbling altogether. But he's going to be a liability in that case because he's getting another year older, which means he gets another step slower. You know what I'm saying? Um, Again, I'm in the line of get younger while you can. You get younger, you get faster. You're gonna be doing running back by committee anyway. So just get you another power back. You got Keaton Mitchell, you got Justice Hill, you got how did I forget his name? What's our other running back be?
Keaton Hill, Ali.
Yeah, Ali. You got Ali, who's somewhat like he has a similar running style to Derrick Henry, whereas we go straight ahead.
We also have one on the practice squad that we call up once in a
That's
while
the
too.
key. Right there, and that's the key. We got to get the right OC.
All right, and that's what I
You
was
know what I'm
saying.
saying? We gotta get the right OC.
Once we have the coaches in place that we know what their scheme will be, that's when EDC can start preparing a draft because he knows because EDC is good at, and I'll like I said, I will dog him to the end of the earth for being a sucker, for being soft, for being sweet for it. He will get the coach everything that the coach wants. Unfortunately, with Harbaugh, it was stupid shit. It was sucker shit. It wasn't, hey, go get us the best players we can. He got Harbaugh exactly the type in the position and type of player that he wanted.
He did.
EDC
That's
will go out
fact.
here and get you. He will go out here and get you the roster that your coach wants.
That's fact.
But every once in a while, he has to say, "Look, I'm the GM, and this is the best. This guy is can't miss. I'm taking this guy because he can't miss." Ozzie used to go out there, and we would have 3 number 1 wide receivers, and Ozzie would say, "Hey, I want that one number 1 wide receiver too. We can't have too many of something that works." We had 4 guards that could. We at one point we had 3 guards that could start on almost any team. And Ozzy still drafted another guard because in 3 or 4 years, one of them two guards was going to have to go, and he had another guard. We started off as a team that if a guy's a can't miss, we're going to draft him and figure out a way to use him. And then all of a sudden, we went, when EDC took over and John had all the power, it was, we got 2 running backs, but let's draft 3 more. We got 2 cornerbacks, let's draft 3 more safeties.
I mean, how many fullbacks have we drafted over the years now, right?
Right. I don't think EDC would have drafted those fullbacks because EDC would have drafted Jordan Stout in the 3rd round and then go and get Prochet. I think he got Prochet. No, he got Prochet before. It was another player that it was just like, we got a punter and then we went after a wide receiver. Why didn't we go to a wide receiver and then pick the punter up in the 6th or 7th round?
Don't forget we drafted Tyler Loop as well.
Right. And who was the guy that they said T. Martin wanted to draft?
That quarterback.
Yeah, the QB that we kept just because we drafted him over the guy who we picked up as a free agent who played much better.
Yep. Emory Jones, the quarterback. Darn good backup quarterback.
Right, and we kept the other guy. Why? For what reason?
Yeah, that was terrible. But you know what? That goes to show that we started off building the team from the trenches and then moved to a point where, so we used to build the Ravens from the trenches out. Then they started building them from the outside in. And that made the world of a difference, and it completely destroyed this franchise. Because they started making the cornerbacks and safeties a priority. And they started making,
our special teams and defensive backs coach.
Yes. And as Modius, I agree. I don't see a Super Bowl this year. I mean, especially, not knowing, I can never call that not knowing what our coaching staff even looks like.
I think we could do it by surprise because, like, look at Cliff Kingsbury. He always gets some amazing offensive numbers in the first year. And then after a year of tape, it's like people, okay, we know what he's going to call. And that always happens to him. So we could surprise this year and get to a good playoff run. Super Bowl is never guaranteed, even if you in your 4th year and you're number 1 in offense, number 1 in defense. It's just never guaranteed. But I do think it being our first year and people not knowing what type of system Lamar is going to have to work with or what we call in certain situations, we could do pretty good. We could make it to, an AFC championship or at least divisional rounds off the first year, and we could build off the second year. Sometimes you make it farther the first year, you regress in the second year because people have tape. And then in the 3rd year, you might bust through the bowl.
Hey, real quick, I just got to shout this out. Trick Williams is in the main event of SmackDown right now. Let's go, young brother. Let's go, black man.
I'm about to say Trent Williams older than I am.
What? No, he not.
Isn't he like 40?
No. Trick Williams is like 31, boy.
Trent Williams been playing since I've been old, and that's been a long time.
Trick Williams is 31 years old. The man was born in 94.
Bro, he been playing forever. He's 37. He was born in 98. I mean, 88.
No. I said Trick Williams, the wrestler.
Trick. I thought you said Trent.
No. Trick.
You can't be sitting and be correcting me because I couldn't hear what you said.
Clean them ears, homie. Trick Williams.
Enunciate. Speak a little louder.
Trick Williams. Well, I'm sick. I can't. So, otherwise I would. Trick Williams is in the main event of SmackDown. Shout out the young man, the young black brother. Main event of SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Already.
My man just got thrown out the playoffs and now he on SmackDown. God damn, Trick Williams said he about to take some rage out on y'all.
My boy's a star. And y'all
Isn't he the
know
one who
what that I was just about to say it, Fears. Whoop that trick. Whoop
doesn't Trick
that
Williams
trick.
always have like a
Listen,
special costume design? Or is that the other guy?
I don't know who you talking about.
It's one of them that they said he always has like they
They
had the
were
different
the
like
trick came out.
Stranger Things and stuff like that. He always has a different like costume design that people always relate to, like pop culture relation to type stuff. Like,
Yeah,
he might pick a movie or a show, and that's what his ring attire will be, something that is inspired by that.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that do that, so I couldn't even tell you. That ain't trick though. But it's a lot of people that do that, but it ain't trick. Trick is more of a
Well,
he a flashy type dude. Swerve
in the
Strickland
words of
versus
Trick
Trick
Daddy,
Williams would be gold.
Trick love the kids.
Miss
Might be too
K,
young to have
hello.
heard that.
Your missing boyfriend was in here earlier, claiming he was at work. I don't know how true it is though. I think he was just scared. But Jared, I would love to see Swerve and Trick. It'll probably never happen though. At least no time soon. Because Trick is clearly WWE clearly sees what a star he is. So they're gonna hold on as long as possible. And Swerve doesn't want to go back to WWE no time soon. Hey, what you mean Melo's the US champion? Carmelo Hayes is the US champion.
Yeah, you a liar now since you tried to call me a liar last night. Both y'all haters.
I ain't hating at all, sir. What are you talking about? I didn't call you a liar, remember?
Let me check the Discord because I could have sworn you said now
Nah,
you out here lying
I
to
gave
us.
you a look. I gave you a look. I didn't call you a
You
liar.
said Jay, he out here lying to us. That's exactly what you said.
I thought I was talking about Jay when I said that. All right, you right there. Yeah, man. Carmelo Hayes is the US champion. Fears. What's wrong with you? Yeah, my boy, the US champ. He defend that thing every Friday too. Every Friday. Braun Breaker. Unfortunately, he's not a champ right now. They still got CM Punk as the world champ. He should have beat Punk. I ain't gonna hold you. He should have beat CM Punk and been the new world champion. But he's not. And then you got the Royal Rumble next weekend. The Royal Rumble should be fun. I hate the fact that it's in Riyadh because it's gonna be, I don't want to watch the Royal Rumble 10 o'clock in the morning. Like I want to watch it at night, like it's supposed to be. But we're gonna end up watching it. And, it sure was street facts. Their matches was fire. Let me ask you something. Have you been watching this whole? Well, apparently you haven't been watching it consistently, but they got this whole thing going with Division. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. Most people think Austin Theory is in there as a spy for Seth Rollins. While that would be dope, I kind of hope that's not the case. Because Austin Theory is another one of those young talents that could flourish. He's only, I think Austin Theory is like 26. So he's one of those young talents that could flourish in the WWE as well. I think they're finally making the move. Triple H is finally making the move to get younger. He's getting smart with it. And then, they got AAA now. So you get the Lucha Libre in there. I like to watch their shows. They go live on YouTube. I think it's every Saturday and every Thursday or something like that. Lucha Libre, the AAA Lucha Libre is live on YouTube. I love watching them. That's part of WWE now. They got Omos over there.
Did you see that crazy post that somebody literally put on? I saw it on Facebook, but I think they put it on TikTok, and they were like, "Oh, if you look at they're like, oh, Triple H is falling off. Look at his body. What happened to his physique? This and the third." And somebody was like, "Bruh, he's old as hell. He was Triple H the game for like almost 30 years. Like, let the man be old, be a father and a husband, and enjoy his life. He does not need to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger at 27 until he dies."
Let that man be retired. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm like, he retired because of physical reasons as it is. Why would he walk around looking like Triple H in his off life? Like
No, that's
John Cena
fact.
can barely walk without leaning forward straight. Like that shit takes time, energy, and a lot of pressure to maintain.
No, that's facts. You know what? I don't understand. People don't understand that some of these wrestlers were on steroids. Not all of them, but some of them were on steroids. And when you get off of that especially if you were taking it consistently, your body don't your body will never look the same again. You know what I'm saying? It gets run down, it looks run down. But I can also guarantee you that Triple H, even if had been off steroids for years, your body's not going to look the same if you're not in the gym the same. Triple H isn't in the gym like that. He's not working out every week, especially with as much as WWE travels. He's got to run the whole business. He's not worried about that stuff. That man don't plan on getting in the ring no time soon.
Right. For why? Like, I'm retired from doing all that work. Don't even look at if you even say, "Hey, there's a planet," shut the fuck up. Shut up. Don't say another word. Not another syllable. Shut up. That's what it was. I mean, yeah, I mean, so most people don't realize after the age of 40, 45, doing an hour-long lifting workout raises your chances of having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Anything over 30 minutes raises your chance of having a heart attack. So guys are in the gym at 40 years old and 45 years old and pedal to the metal, and like your heart, yeah, you physically your muscles look good, but your heart can't take that stress. And your muscles might look good, but it's killing your heart. Like stuff can kill you. Stuff making looking good on the outside is going to kill you on the inside. And people who don't do that all the time, they don't realize that. They just say, "Oh, well, The Rock looks like look at Bautista." Bautista said, "Man, I'm almost 50. I'm not gonna look like 282 pounds and lean muscle Bautista forever." Like he went and he lost 100 pounds. Oh, he looks skinny. He looks sick. Well, when you lose 85 pounds of muscle, what did you expect?
Yeah. Then when he got back into acting, that's when he started working out again. And he's the dude looks like he's in great shape now. You look at him. And the Rock, I don't know what the Rock be on. Um,
Didn't they say didn't The
that's
Rock pull
facts.
that
The
stuff?
Tai Chi, I think is something that you should get into at any age because not only can it give you a great physique, but it builds your joints. I'm about to start doing Tai Chi my damn self because I mean get my joints all strengthened and feeling good and all that. But
I did have a question. Is The Rock doing the same thing that 50 Cent did? Because remember, 50 Cent lost like 150 pounds or something like that for some role that he did to look like a crackhead. And he got the role, he did it. Now he's back built like 50 Cent again.
yeah, that's what they tend to do. 50 was supposed to be in was it the it might have been the upcoming Street Fighter.
Nah, he's in Street Fighter's
Movie.
Ballroom.
He is right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cast his Ballroom, but it was another one 2 or 3 years ago. It was like a police
Oh yeah, yeah,
crime
yeah. He's a
joint.
cancer patient. Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Fierce,
was
yeah,
Kennedy. He lost all that weight for real, for real. He
yeah. Well,
looked
you
like a
have
damn
to.
crack skinny,
You
but he
have
was a
to play
kid.
the part.
Right. Well, they were willing to CGI it, and he was like, "No, I'm going to lose the weight and actually look like and actually like he literally took he basically method acted that one. He lost the weight and he started carrying himself like this is what he was going through. When he got done with that role, he bulked back up to 50 Cent. And like if I'd have lost all that weight and all that muscle, yeah, I'm not going. I'm not lifting not a goddamn thing ever. I'm gonna get to a regular weight and be like, shit, y'all lost 50 Cent. I'm an actor.
That's what the greats do, though, right? So that's so he probably, you know what I mean. Went to some of the great
Right.
actors who probably was like, "No, I'd lose the weight for the part." And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna lose the weight then," because that's what the great actors do. When they're getting a role, they get into the role. Oh, I gotta lose this much weight. All right, cool. Oh, I gotta gain this much weight. Oh, I gotta learn karate. I gotta learn how to box. I gotta learn how to do this, do that, and they go do it. Some of the greatest actors do exactly what needs to be done, and that's why we love them. Then there's other ones that take the shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? I'll just CGI it. I'll just have somebody stand in for me. Give me a stunt double. So some of the people, the actors we truly love, is because they go the whole way. See, Fierce points out Christian Bale. You know what I'm saying? How he was uh, skinny as hell for one movie and then bulked up for Batman. These guys, they eat, sleep, and breathe these parts, and you got to do nothing but pay much respect to him for it. Yeah, Will Smith with Muhammad Ali. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Um, some of these dudes end up, end up on drugs and stuff, playing certain parts because they want to get so into the part. So it's just how it goes sometimes. But we love them for it. We appreciate them for it, and we just hope that their health ends up good and okay. But for these wrestlers, as much as they travel, it's got to be hard to
It's
stay on top.
terrible.
It's got to be hard to stay on top of their fitness. Like I look at Sheamus, a guy like Sheamus, where a lot of times people look at him, geez, he's out of shape. Well, these guys are traveling a whole year.
No.
It's not like he could just hit the gym in one place and just bulk up and be good. He's constantly traveling, constantly eating out. You know, not everybody has a
Shit,
tour bus like Cody Rhodes. You know
right.
what I
You
mean?
remember John Cena's I forgot what it was. It's almost like WWE has the 30 for 30. And John Cena, he was like, man, he was like, it was a place that it was like, if you could eat this, is a big ass pizza. Yeah, it was a big ass pizza. And it was like, you eat the big ass pizza, you don't have to pay. And he was like, he only had enough for his hotel room and a couple other things. And he was like, so basically every night he would go there and he would eat that whole damn pizza because if you finished it, it was free. The owner
Yeah.
was like, look, if you need some slices of pizza, just fucking let me know, and I could just give you a half of a pizza, and I could save money on the other half of the pizza because he sold about the slices too. So he literally was just like, the owner was like, look, instead of me wasting the whole pizza on you, I got some slices in the back that aren't completely fresh. I'll give them to you because when they're first starting out, they're not making that much money with WWE. WWE is not giving
I
you
was just about to
real
say,
money
making a comment similar to
unless
that.
you
Yeah.
right, unless you're actually on TV. If you're just a guy in the back room, you're not really making nothing. So yeah, these guys they got to get by however they can. Hell, I think Stone Cold said he'd get a can of Vienna sausage, potato, and something else. And sometimes the guys would find an all you can eat place, and He's, hey, put me a potato in the microwave. He was eating potatoes without I guess he might have had butter, but no toppings, no fixings. That potato kept him full, and then when he could afford to, he'd go to the carryout. He called his mom and asked for $20, and he said she probably spent as much sending him the $20 as the $20 that he had. Yep,
Yeah.
fair's right. He slept in his car for years, or whatever he had to do. Like I think the Undertaker said, he gave the guy his mileage deduction on his car, and the guy said, "Is this for like 2 years?" He said, "No, that's this year." He said, "You only made this much?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You should probably find you a hobby because it will pay you more."
A lot of these dudes are driving from
I
so
did
quick.
a mock draft Rex, I do a mock draft Saturday or last Sunday.
Um, I don't remember.
It's in, and I put the
Yeah,
results in the Discord. I might just have to scroll up, but they gave me an offer to trade back a little bit so I can grab two guards. So that's usually what I do, because I'll be honest with you, there's for what we need as far as guard competition. And if I can get two guards in the first 60 picks, I'll take them.
you're right. You can't. That's not enough. Yeah. B did a mock draft. I can't remember exactly when it was. I have to sit down and go through my college players that I was keeping eyes on. I don't even know where I set that list at. I cleaned up about 3 or 4 different times. It's probably in the garbage by now. But I had a list of guys I was looking at for Baltimore. If I could find it, thank goodness. If not, I got to start over. But I had been checking guys out throughout the college year. Me and Jay, we go back and forth having these conversations all year long as we watch college football. We just message each other back and forth and kind of keep track of who we're keeping eyes on for Baltimore and Carolina. And I gotta get that list before I give you a mock draft. But I personally um I want to see Baltimore go offensive line, whether it be guard or tackle in the first round. And if not there, get you a top running back, uh, and or a top wide receiver. I don't want to see defense in the first round at all because, as B mentioned earlier, we have the defensive talent. We just need the defensive coaching. So get you some offense, get your quarterback some weapons, get your quarterback an offensive line, build around him, build a wall around him, and keep him safe. That works too. That works too. Urban, do both. Double dip in the first. Now a part of that could be trading Mark Andrews away, and I'll be fine with that too. The other part of it could be trading Derrick Henry away, and I'll be fine with that too. Just build the offensive line, build your depth at wide receiver, build, some young running backs. Make this team into what it's supposed to be.
I'll be honest with you, I would not be, because we are idiots like this and take dumb chances like this. I wouldn't be surprised if we know we want to trade Mark or we want to cut Mark and we just gave him that contract because that gives him that guaranteed money no matter what.
I
Because
said I think we extended him so we could trade him, so that he doesn't hit free
because
agency.
you got to remember, a little tidbit that came out was he had just gotten married before that. It came
Yeah,
out he had just
that's
gotten
right.
married before they gave him that extension. So I don't even think that extension had to do with likely. I think he got married and John was like, "Hey, go do my man a favor, give him a decent contract, because after this year he was free agent. Period. Like he's free agent. Period. Now they could trade him with the salary they give him. They could still trade him for, they could still trade him for a fifth or sixth round pick, and he's guaranteed that contract.
So um I have no problem with your mock, but I can't go defense in the first round. I can't do it. I think we have too much defensive talent to take defense in the first round. I would prefer to see offense in the first round, but of course it depends on how the board falls.
Yeah, for
Depends on
defensive
how the board
tackle,
falls.
we have Jones and Fub, and we also have the guy we signed from Oakland. We re-signed him for another year.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's all
we
based that's what I'm saying. It's all based on how the board falls. Even with a mock draft, you're gonna take the best available if the guy you want isn't there. You know what? Well, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that as long as I think his contract was a backloaded contract, so I'm okay with that.
no, I think it was front.
I thought it was backloaded because of Lamar's contract hit.
No, it's front. We had the amount we had the cap space this year, and next year is going to go up. So it's actually in the first year or two he gets most of the money. In the third year, he basically is playing vet minimum because he already got paid out the first 2 years. That's why I said it was after his wedding, so it was a favor to him. It's pretty basically like, here's your wedding gift. We're gonna give you this contract that we don't need to, because honestly, if we didn't resign him, he's gonna hit free agency. It wasn't going to affect us, not at all. So I think they literally gave him that contract, and it was like, okay, well, you know, they thought John was gonna be here. John ain't here. Okay, cool. We could trade you for a fifth round pick to someone that needs a tight end that could still start, whatever. We'll trade him for a fifth round pick. He's not getting paid too much, but he's getting paid a little something, and it's in the first 2 years. So by the third year, if he gets cut, he's already collected most, if not all, of his money.
Yeah, in 2027, he's due 9 million.
Well, it was
Um,
a 3 year extension, so it's only through the 2028. So
yeah, no, I'm looking at it now. So 2025, he made 5.404 million, whatever. But the 2026, 1.3. So it's backloaded. Like I said, the base salary of it that hits us is backloaded. So it's
well,
1.3
I
in
mean,
2026, and it's
he's
9
guaranteed
million in
26.
2027, and it's 10 million in 2028. So
What's
that's what I'm
his
looking at right now off the
his
off the
annual
website I'm
average
on right
is
now.
Yeah, his annual average is 13,
Yeah,
but
but
his
he's not
guaranteed
actually
money
getting
is
paid.
26.
Yeah. So basically, you're he's guaranteed. That's broken down. That actually doesn't count against your cap. That's the cash he's being paid out. So that's not even going to count against the cap. The cap hit each year is backloaded. The cap hit is only going to be 1.3 million for 2026, and then in the cap hit in 2027 is going to be 9 million, and in 2028 is going to be 10 million. So basically, they front loaded it with cash and backloaded it for the cap hit, which is what I was saying.
Okay, I didn't know you were talking about a cap hit. I was talking about how
Oh,
much he's actually getting paid.
oh yeah, no, I was talking about the cap hit because he was somebody said we're gonna have to take the hit on the money. I think it was Urban said it.
Yeah,
But
but
I was saying
that's a kick the can down
backloaded
the road
contract,
type thing.
whatever team we trade to would take that on. We wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna kick that can down the road just like we did.
Yeah, which is why I think, trading them. I think part of the deal was, we'll extend them and we'll be able to use them for a trade piece. I think it's a smart
Right.
move.
what I'm saying? He'll go to another team for a fifth round pick, and then in
Osmond in the
2027
building was good. Osmond. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. Um, he'll be a great trade piece. And again, I reiterate, it's just me. I think Derrick Henry's a great trade piece too. Somebody's gonna look at the last couple years he had and say, we'll take him and give you a good pick for it. Third, maybe fourth. Because the guy's getting close to 2,000 yards still. Why not? I was just said, what do we think of the new head coach selection? We talked about that early on. Um,
will
I'm
reserve
okay
rights
with it.
until the staff is filled out.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I can't be mad at it until we know who he is.
I won't
Is
be
he
mad at it. I'm happy we have a coach. I just the only thing I felt like is if we're gonna go defensive, we should have went with the best defensive coach and then look for the best offensive coordinator. But he's a good enough coach that with an offensive coordinator, we're gonna be well enough.
pretty
We're gonna
much,
be
Devon? Pretty
well,
much.
we're gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just think if he comes in as Jesse Minter, I want to change his team and do things my way. Great. If he comes in as Jesse Minter, I'm John Harbaugh light, then the team's gonna fail. I mean, it is what it is. But we'll see what his mindset is when he brings in his offensive coordinator. Right? Is he ready to innovate, or is he just running back the same old play? That's gonna be key. Quick question for you, B. It's off subject, way off subject. But what is your favorite terrible movie? Like a movie that's just outright terrible, but it's good to you.
No, there's a bunch of movies that like people are like that is terrible. I'm like, yeah, it's so bad that I'm gonna laugh at it forever. Like to me,
Um,
it's like it's to the point where I know they're terrible, but I like them. Like I've grown to like them to the point where it's like it's not even a terrible movie. I like watching this. So it's like me and my friends, they're as about different as I am when it comes to other people. So yeah, like Soul Plane's one of the movies where it's like we used to go to
absolutely.
movies that we knew would be bad so that we would be like the only people who've seen it and have inside jokes on certain lines of the movies. So it's to the point where movies that are like that you can go and make jokes that make fun of the movie and it's funny to you. Like to me, it's a pretty good movie. Like they people refer to them as cult classics. Like, oh, this is a cult classic where people have watched it and realized the stupidity of the movie, and that made the movie more enjoyable. So I watch a lot of cult classic movies that it's like, bro, there's no way a movie could be this bad. And then you start to enjoy watching it because you're like, wait, hey, watch this right here. Like, Who Made the Potato Salad is a terrible movie. I die laughing at it all the time. Like, that's probably it. Because I even made my mom watch it and she was like, that movie was so terribly made, but it was so fucking hilarious that I'd watch it again.
So just to go back, Osmond, I hear what you're saying. In my heart, I felt the same way because I wanted an OC. I mean, offensive minded head coach. But like I said, we'll see because his OC, he can bring in a great OC, and we'll be happy. Um,
So let me get that one. This is Osmond. What's on your mind is not who the head coach is. What's on your mind is trauma ball. On your mind is we picked a defensive coach. He's going to inhibit the offense because he only cares about defense. That's Harbaugh's way of life. Harbaugh wanted all defense. He wanted it this way. It could only be this way. It can only work that way. I only want coaches who I can control. So I'm not going to let them flourish and be the best coach they can be. Mentor's going to come in here and he has something to prove. Just like Harbaugh has something to prove when he first came and he allowed the best of the best to be the best. Before he got that championship, Jesse Minter is going to be on the same path. He can't walk in here and decide he's going to run it how he wants to and miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. Because I can tell you right now, he's going to be on the shortest leash that you could find. If he doesn't make the playoff 2 years in a row, it's a wrap. Minter's going to have to come in here. He's going to have to fix that defense, and he's going to have to let the offense be the offense to its best ability. He's not going to come in here and be Harbaugh and try and control everything.
As motives, I still wouldn't want to edge in the first round. I'd still prefer offense in the first round. I think we have the defensive talent.
Yeah, we got Mike Green last year. We got Mike Green last year. Tavius was really good for the time that he wasn't hurt. So if Tavius can come back healthy and Mike Green can come back healthy, we're good as far as them two starting. We'll be good, especially in the system that they're going to be in. The system that they're going to be in will allow them dogs to hunt. And that's all we need to worry about. Are those dogs going to be allowed to hunt? Because, like I said, Oweh was not allowed to hunt, and he got 7 sacks after going to the Chargers.
And if you're saying trade him, I'm right with you. Trade him. We could draft linebackers later. Trade Roquan, trade Andrews. Again, I'll say it again. Trade Derrick Henry. Get younger, get more speed, and get some guys in here that's gonna teach these guys how to play football the right way. For my movie, to go back to what we was talking about, I'm gonna say Good Burger, man. I love that movie so much. I don't know what it is. I could watch Good Burger for the rest of my life. Terrible movie as far as concept, and different things. Terrible movie, but extremely good movie to me. I love that movie. I got my kids hooked on it too. My kids watch it now with me too. We can sit and watch Good Burger. And then I just started watching Stranger Things, and people kick my butt for this if you need to. I hadn't watched Stranger Things until now. I just finished the first season. It's okay.
Look who has a movie suggestion. Is that Jay? Supposedly at work?
Supposedly at work, right?
But I mean, Osmond, I understand. Like, people keep saying that, and the same thing goes for defense. If we would have hired Clint Kubiak as our head coach, then we would have been going through the same tailspin in defense over and over and over again. When you have the proper, because I was talking to somebody, and when you have the proper OC, that OC has disciples. Like some of the Shanahan tree and the McVay tree are going to come from guys who are passing game coordinators. They're not even offensive coordinators. And they're going to go to a team with their system, and their passing game coordinator or their offensive coordinator is going to get hired from under them. But because their offensive system will be in place there, it can continue. Just like Mike Mack ran a different defense than Wink Martindale did. Completely different defense. But the bones and structure of that defense left with Anthony Weaver and went to, I think it was Miami, and left with our other coach that went to be the coordinator for the Titans. So when you have an offensive coordinator, just like a defensive coordinator,
by the way,
just like a defensive coordinator, when your system is that good, yes, those bones of that system will still be there. So if we hire Shellhouse, whatever his name is, we hire him, he has an outstanding year, and then he moves to another team, somebody who's on his staff here that we will decide to promote, will basically be running the same offense. The only difference is how that guy calls his plays. That's really the only difference. It's going to be how that guy calls his plays, because McVay has guys who's left from under him, and they have the same offensive quality output. Same thing with Shanahan. Same thing with a lot of these guys. Eric Bieniemy didn't even call plays for the Chiefs. He basically did did the prep work during the week, and Reed would call the plays. And people thought, oh, well, that's not valuable. But guess what? Matt Nagy didn't do as well, and neither did the guy, the other guy right after Bieniemy. And guess what? Now that Bieniemy is back, now we're worried.
Yeah, it's it's one of those tricky situations where, as a fan, when you've been seeing something consistently, it's kind of hard to get your mind out of the flow. But that's why I like the fact that we have the coaching change, because it was exactly that time for a change. So it's time to think differently, feel differently going into the season. And when you got a guy like Lamar at quarterback, offense changing isn't going to have that big of effect on him. He's played in so many different styles already and still succeeded that it's kind of the least of your worries, which is why they went defensive coordinator style. Because you get a defensive coach, that defense needs to be built up. Whereas if we get an offensive coach and try to rely on a defensive coordinator, we don't know if he's going to be able to coach up that defense. Whereas we brought a guy in now who we know can coach up the defense, and we know can bring a guy in to help him continue to grow the defense, and can select a guy that's going to have our offense on point. So, when you got a guy like Lamar, that makes that choice easier. Um, Jared Prod, y'all made me feel better about Stranger Things. I'm gonna start season 2 probably tomorrow. Probably gonna start season 2 tomorrow, by the way. Um, it's one of those things. It's a sci-fi show. You really got to be into that type of stuff. Um, Alternate universes and all that. Which, me being a Marvel guy, I am. So that's my type of thing. Um, on brand gets getting back to the Ravens defense will making handling the offense easier. We know OC and some, yeah, and I agree, because I think we have, as I've reiterated a few times, I think we have the defensive talent. I think we have the players. We just didn't have the coaching. So now we'll have the coaching on defense, which our offense can pick up. As long as you fix that offensive line, that offense is going to be a threat, because Lamar will be protected. He could go out there and be the best quarterback in the league, like he's been doing. And as long as you have that guy, you'll always be a threat to be in the playoffs and possibly make a Super Bowl run. But we gotta again depend on who he picks as an offensive coordinator, their ability to run and cultivate an offense. But as long as you have Lamar, no matter who comes in, your offense is going to look like a threat that first year.
It will, but see, that's what I was telling you. The trauma ball right there. You see, Lamar is an afterthought with EDC. That's why I said EDC built the team that Harbaugh demanded. EDC didn't build the team he wanted. He built the team that Harbaugh demanded. Because guess what? If EDC went against Harbaugh, he was probably going to lose his job if it was one or the other. I think EDC is going to select the best players to make the best team, and that's what his focus will be. I don't think Lamar is an afterthought to EDC. I think Lamar was an afterthought to Harbaugh, and the team reflected it. Because Harbaugh would come out and say, hey, we don't think Lamar needs a number one receiver. And then he'd come out again and be like, hey, if you think you're going to be a number one receiver here and get 1,300 yards a year, don't come here. So if your head coach is threatening receivers that they're not going to get the yards, what are you really gonna do? Like, what can you really do? Look at Greg Roman. Hollywood had to be like, what's the point of having the soldiers if you're not going to use them? And at that point, EDC was like, yeah, why am I drafting wide receivers if you're only going to use the tight ends? We took Hayden Hurst before Lamar. Think about that.
That still kills me.
We took Hayden Hurst before Mark Andrews.
That still kills me.
Everything on this team was based on what Harbaugh wanted. EDC didn't get a chance to put a stamp on his team because EDC got paid that extra money to stay here. So when Ozzie left, he could continue the Ozzie way. And as soon as Ozzie left, John stepped in and said, nah, buddy, I'm going to go straight to Steve and I'm going to let Steve know I won the Super Bowl. This guy's a new guy. I'm going straight to you. I don't have to go answer to EDC. And EDC learned quick, fast, in a hurry. I'm going to get John what he wants. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. And dare I say, John pretty much abused that friendship. It's the reason why when I see a lot of people getting on EDC, I'm like, well, he didn't have a chance to be an actual GM. You know, the times where Harbaugh okayed him getting a guy is when he went out there and made those trades, and we was like, yo, did he just flip a backup kicker / punter for a 4th round pick? That's EDC. You know what I'm saying? When he went out there, he got Marcus Peters for a 4th string linebacker. That was EDC. That's the guy I want to see run this team. Not the guy who had to listen to what Harbaugh wanted and let Harbaugh go out there and draft fullbacks over and over again. I think
4th round punters.
Yeah, and 4th round punters and drafting kickers. I think EDC knows, okay, now's my time to shine. Now let me show y'all what I do. Because if you look in the past, what has been the only excuse for him drafting certain positions? Well, analytics says if we have the most draft picks possible, we could possibly hit on this number of players. You know why? Because John Harbaugh,
speaking of analytics,
as many special teams guys as he could.
Did you see that Harbaugh made the Giants go and upgrade their analytics department before he was signed his contract?
Wow.
Yeah, he said the Giants analytics department wasn't good enough, and he was like, "Yeah, that was one of his demands that if I'm going to sign here, I need to be able to talk straight to the owner, and the analytics department needs to be upgraded."
Hayden is a free agent.
Hayden got passed around the AFC North and then got sent to the Chargers.
Well, that makes perfect sense now, doesn't it? He ends up with the other Harbaugh.
Because did he go? I feel like I know he went to Cincinnati. I swear he went to Carolina. He went to Cincinnati. I feel like he ended up on the Browns at one point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think EDC still got the juice, but you know, with Harbaugh having that much control, there was nothing he could do about it. You know, now that Harbaugh is gone, EDC is going to start cooking. Now's the time we see EDC cook.
Can't do it. You new here?
I don't remember seeing that name. That many terrorists. I agree. I think we all love John the person, but it was time for his voice got stale. Now, who's got it better than us? That
voice got stale in here.
that became everybody. Who's got it better than us? Everybody.
His lack of accountability got him fired because that's what Steve said. He said, "Hey, I went in there and I talked to the guy, and he said when he tried to give John the chance to admit to something, and then John wouldn't admit to it. And he was like, he was going to let him go home and come back in the morning and talk to him about it. But he said, man, on John's way home, he was like, it just got to him. He was like, nah, bro. Like, this man just went through another season and it's everybody's fault but his. There's no accountability. And he just called him while he was on the way home. Like, I don't want you to come all the way back here. I just want to let you know that this ain't going to work out. That it's time for us to separate ways.
Listen,
They
that's the
were
biggest thing. Upgrade the
and
offensive line.
right, and
Is the
they
biggest
were,
thing
and the
going
problem
forward.
is you had Emery and Vincent sitting there. You had Ben Cleveland sitting there, and we didn't at least give them a try. Why? Because John had decided what he wanted, point blank, period. EDC had better guards on this team than 72 and 77, and John just decided EDC can't make me play them, so I'm going to play the guys I want to play, no matter what.
Yeah, it's again, it's like I said with our young guys. John has said himself in an interview he'd prefer the young guys, especially the rookies, not be on the field. He likes to go with the veterans. So his game plan was always his game plan. We're gonna do as I say because I say so. And now, I mean, not that you could technically do worse as the Giants, but I think they'll see maybe a year or two, maybe three of some above 500 seasons. They may even make the playoffs a couple years, but after a while, I
That
think they're
that
going to the same cycle.
that rookie QB saved his job, so he should have been giving rookies a little bit more grace at that point in time. That's for sure.
There's, I don't disagree. I agree 100%. But that's John though. That's just John.
Well, the new offensive coordinator is probably going to run different. It's probably so. The new offensive coordinator is probably going to adjust at halftime to what we're being played like. Because Jesse Mentor adjusts at halftime to what the offense is doing against the defense. And that's one of the biggest problems is that we went in with a system. Hey, we're going to run this on Sunday, and this is going to be our game plan. And then we never adjusted. We never, ever adjusted. Whether on offense or defense, there was no adjustment. And now we're going to see if we can get some coaches that will adjust.
I mean, yeah, that was part of John Harbaugh's philosophy, right? Um, you know, we come in, this is the game plan, we're gonna run it. No matter what the other team looks like. This is the plan. And that speaks to why. And if you wonder why we know this, it's because every press conference he goes, well, guys just have to execute. Guys have to be in position. Guys have to execute. Well, you're telling me that you're running the same stuff no matter who you're playing, means you're not planning for the opponent, which means
You
at
want to
some
storm the
point
beaches of
they're going to
Normandy
have
50 times and think you got enough
yes,
soldiers to keep surviving. He
exactly,
just wants to keep storming the beaches of Normandy. It's like, bruh, we have F-22 jets now. We have B-2 bombers. Why are you sending 5,000 guys to run up a beach and die?
exactly. It's just how it goes. I want to take this quick moment. We've been here for a little over 2 hours. Everybody, if you can, make sure you like, share, subscribe, join the family. Let's continue to grow the channel and get more. We'll keep pumping out the great content, whenever we can. Get live. Yeah, as you can hear, I'm still not 100%. Still don't fully have my voice back. Um, And it is for that reason that I'm actually going to be getting out of here soon because my throat is on fire. Pause. It's on fire. I'm dying over here. It is getting harder and harder for me to speak. So, so I'm fighting. I'm fighting through this one now.
And we're gonna see y'all in the Discord though.
Hey man, yeah, we love talking about it. I'm gonna tell you something. This channel isn't just about we're Ravens fans, but we talk everything. I mean, you probably heard us talking a little bit of wrestling earlier. The off season is coming, so we're gonna be talking about basketball. My UConn Huskies, my ladies is running everything right now. Okay, my Huskies ladies are running everything. The Huskies men is out here kicking behind too, so don't sleep on them. My Huskies taking everything again. That's what we do. So we're gonna be talking, that we'll talk a little bit of spring football when that time comes around. We talk college on this channel. We talk a little bit of everything. So and then you heard us talk about movies. We talk movies. We talk life. We talk Marvel. We just here to have a good time, right? Hey, the Terps. Listen, when it comes to basketball, I don't know. Football, it seems like every year they're slowly progressing. But the Huskies in basketball, if you want a college championship in basketball, you got to go through us. Hands down. The most historic basketball college there is UConn. You know what I'm saying? As far as football for UConn, we went 9-3 this year. Good year. Our 3 losses were all in overtime. So could have went undefeated. But our head coach just left to go, which was Jim Mora, by the way. I don't know if y'all remember Jim Mora when he coached in the NFL.
Didn't you coach the Falcons?
So, yeah, he did. So that's who our coach was. He went on to I forgot what school he went to. He left for a bigger school though. So we got a new
Wasn't his
coach.
dad named John?
No, he was Jim Mora Sr. So it was with Jim Mora Jr. and Jim Mora Sr.
This one was a John Moore, but maybe I'm thinking about a different sport.
I'm pretty sure it was too, but not. It was a different Mora, I think. But this is the one. His father was the one that did the whole playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. We used to coach the Colts.
Okay, so there's Jim L. Moore and Jim E. Moore. I guess that's the difference. Well, no, Jim E. Moore would be. Damn, John Moore got old. Jim E. Moore was the dad, and John L. Moore was the son that you're talking about.
Okay, I just know that Mora family been in the NFL, been in football for a long time. But
Oh, he's
Jim
going
Mora,
to be Colorado State coach.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, he's going to be Colorado State coach, and we just picked up the coach that was coaching Toledo. Toledo's old coach is coming over. Hopefully he can pick up where he left off. And then we're losing guys like Sky Bell. Who's the name? I'm putting this out there to y'all now. Keep an eye out on Sky Bell. Very good wide receiver coming out of UConn. Great slot guy. He's he's very twitchy. He kind of reminds me of Zay. I like him. Short hands. Problem is, the difference is I've seen him go up and get the jump ball over bigger defenders. So just keep an eye out for him. He's quick. He return kicks. Yeah, I like Sky Bell. Skylar Bell. Keep an eye out for him. But yeah, man, we gonna grow this thing. We gonna blow this up. I think we gonna try to get back to the consistency B. And I've been leaving y'all hanging last couple weeks.
Flip them shorts.
But hopefully, hold on. We have a guest at the end of the show here. Hold on.
Is that the guy who's supposed to start the show?
Yeah, you're supposed to start the show here. Crazy, right?
Crazy work indeed.
Hey, can you give me a thing of strawberry Twizzlers while you're there?
No.
Why not though?
It was after store hours.
Why not though?
I ain't look.
Yeah.
I ain't supposed to be here myself, but I had to pick up the other people's shit. Yeah, I put the bag on.
Listen, you could let something fall out the back door.
All right.
You happen to find it on the way to your car.
Bucky's never closes.
Sure. I want to open more. Oh, that'd be nice. But yeah,
How many
for
jobs
real.
you got, Jay? 5?
Huh?
They work at Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I been told you that.
I know that.
Ain't nothing new.
Davon asked if he was at Bucky's.
I wish. Yeah, I probably should have tried to apply. I'm probably rich. But,
I would say Bucky's
Jay work at Dollar
pays.
You about to get rich working at Dollar Tree. Hey, listen, we know why you chose Dollar Tree too. Hold on, let me check the chat, make sure the missions ain't in here. Okay, your lady in you chose Dollar Tree because all the ladies be in Dollar Tree. That's why you chose it. We know your game, Jay.
I deny. 100% deny.
Them
False.
dollar hoes.
We know your game, Jay. You can't fool us.
Yeah, monogamous man.
Got
I
them
didn't say
dollar
you
hoes.
wasn't.
Do something strange for some
I didn't
change.
say you wasn't. You could be. Listen, you could be monogamous
You can look and don't touch.
and let your eyes wander all over the place.
Or Kay could shoot me for even trying to look.
Golly.
Hey, Devon, it's a good place to be.
Yeah, man.
My lady had me on the mission
Man.
driving her to. I drove her to like $2 or $3 Dollar Trees the other day.
Oh, he got the Billie Jean jacket too.
Now you know a man mean business when he put on the jean jacket.
Jay trying to ignore the hell out of me. He trying not to laugh so hard.
My man's is chilling in Texas with a Canadian tuxedo on.
I'm the Canadian tuxedo.
You know, if you was in Texas, you wouldn't be worried about no snow right now, Rich.
No, I like the snow, man. It's beautiful. I like watching it fall. I just don't like, falling in it.
Man, you rather watch snowfall than the misses. Yeah.
Listen, I'd rather watch this snowfall and know
Is that a
that
purse?
it's gonna pass and
Hey,
be okay.
tell me you ain't got no merce, do you?
Than be in Texas
got a
and always
merce.
have the heat. Jay got a purse. That's crazy.
You see that, Rich? Jay got a merce.
Oh Lord. Kay, why you got this man carrying a purse? I blame you. Kay got my boy carrying a purse.
Hey, I've been pretty chill this episode. Okay, I've been containing myself.
Matter of fact, like, B, this is the most professional, show you have ever done.
I be trying a little something, you know what I mean? I be trying sometimes.
Sometimes. Show my receipt to this camera.
But I don't see no Twizzlers.
Who the fuck eats Twizzlers?
Whoa, chill
The
out.
strawberry ones,
bro.
That's my bad.
Ain't that wrong with a little Twizzler here and there?
My bad. My best Hendo Ropa boys. Who in the fudge cookie eats Twizzlers?
You gotta bite both
Urban
sides
said,
and
"Let the merce go."
then sip some Sprite through it like a straw. What's wrong with you?
I have you know my woman bought me this lunch bag. Thank you very much.
The Merce bag. Because I saw purse handles.
That's what I saw. I saw 2 leather handles.
This shit.
Stitched on the underside.
But anyway,
Right, like
look,
he got
I try to
a
clear my
grandma
name.
mall purse.
But I gotta clear my name. Clear my. Make sure my my credibility. Very good.
Dang, you got locked out.
I got the keys.
No, he's the one locking out. He
I
had to
know, I'm
lock the
joking.
door.
Dang,
Shut the
dang, he
door down.
locking
Shut the
out. Oh
door.
shit!
Lock,
And it's raining.
lock the stove up.
He locking out for the twerkathon or what?
Huh?
I'm saying you should let us throw after dark parties there.
I don't know
You know what I'm
about that.
saying?
We already got the balloons is already there. You know,
Exactly.
But I never seen no strippers, no 304s pull up to Dollar Tree. Walmart maybe.
Hey, that's because
you be
we had the
selling them
party yet.
stuff all day. You be selling them the glitter that they put on their body. You be selling it to them. You just don't know it yet.
And I forgot the deposit. Uh,
Damn, you fucking up, Jay.
yes, I am.
I thought you had put it in the purse already. That's why I ain't say nothing.
Hey man, stop bothering that man his purse, bro. Chill.
His Murcielago.
His Percy
Is that
Yeah.
snow? I see some precipitation.
Yeah, it's raining.
Yeah, be careful getting home, man. It's raining in Texas. It's about to be a 75 car pile up on the 805.
See, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Well, the way he got hoes on his left and right, it's gonna be the 806.
It's about to be a 75 car pile up out there. Please be safe, Jay.
You ain't
You
all
know
right,
y'all Texas people can't drive, big dog.
good thing I'm not from Texas. We live here.
They from South Carolina somewhere where they pretend like they ain't in the country.
I'm pretty sure if you go to Bentonville, you gonna see how country it is.
If they ain't got a Bucky's, they don't count as country.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. Who am I to talk? I'm from the north.
Look, Davon's supposed to be taking up for his folk because ain't Davon down there in South Carolina?
Right? Come on,
Devon is
Davon.
in
Damn.
South Carolina. Devon worried about that ice storm that's coming. All right, that's all that's on his mind.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
I think they upped us to was it 18 inches? Then we
Good
getting like
Lord.
18 inches of snow.
Yeah.
At one point, it was like nearly 3 feet. So and then it dropped back down, and now it's going back up slowly but surely. And the snow don't even count the ice. The snow is literally just snow. Like so, it's gonna be brutal.
Shoot, it looked like we ain't even finna get no snow out this campus. They said a wintry mix.
Listen, I'm in CT. It's already cold. We just had our nicest day of the week though, just yesterday. It was 41 out yesterday.
Shoot, it's 49 for us today.
Yeah, no, we ain't getting near that. We got 41 yesterday. It was good. It dropped down to 33 today. The other day, the high was 15. That's the numbers we're looking at again for this weekend. We're looking at
Yeah,
like
they're talking about 6 to 10 inches for us.
Yeah, no, we got bumped up to the last number I seen was 18 to I think it was 18 to 24. So just about 2 feet. And that don't include the ice. That's just the snow alone. Oh yeah, that 15 was yo. Listen, let me tell you something. My house, we keep the heat on, but we put a window fan in too. And we put it on where you intake and exhaust at the same time. That way you're bringing fresh air in the house and then blowing the old air out. Man, listen, I went in the room. She made a mistake and put the fan on just intake. It was so cold in there. Oh God. Right, I'm laying in bed because I didn't pay it no mind. I'm laying in bed in the middle of the night. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yo, I'm about to punch her in the back. Sit up asleep. And then wake up and tell her to go change the fan. He was cold. It was cold as hell. I got up. I was like, all right, now let me just. I got up. I went to change the fan, man. Crazy work. Crazy. That cold air is no joke. But again, the reason I won't move south is because I can't handle high heat. I can't do it. Yeah, Devon, she was about to get punched in the back, bro. Not even on no malicious type stuff, like just on some
Enough to wake her up to go do the
enough
job.
to wake her up, let her want to change the air. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't have to get up and do it. Man, you know what it's like. And that night, it was like 3 degrees outside. The low was 3, the high was 15. Man, do you know what 3 degrees feels like when it's blowing at you full force through a fan?
There's a reason I live in the South.
It's
You can keep that.
blistering cold. I got up. You'd have thought I was standing outside in that mug. I just couldn't do it. But I got up, I changed the fan myself, and got back in bed. And I bought a blanket that one side's a cold side, one side's the warm side. So we keep the warm side face down so we're nice and warm at night, But man, listen. Yeah, man, this right here. Facts. The wind chill be bananas. Oh my goodness. They said my office called me. I've been off for this week. I was off. I'm supposed to go back on Monday. We start another job on Monday. And the office already called me, said, listen, we ain't working Monday. This weather about to be crazy. We ain't gonna make it in. We'll try to start on Tuesday. And I told him, I said, listen, I might not make it Tuesday. I ain't gonna lie to you. I might not make it Tuesday. Because the job we starting is a brand new build. So there's no real walls up. So they got temporary walls up. So you get wind gusts all up and through there. So I don't think it's for me.
You don't want that tingle down your spine?
It's more than tingle down your spine.
Hold on. Not
Whenever
the
it's
way
that
it sound
cold.
like did you just moan for a second? Hold on
I said, I said,
Oh,
more wait. When
Jay
it's that
came back from
cold,
out of nowhere with the pause for you.
when it's that cold, that's when your toes leave the building. All right, that's more than that's more than the tingle down your spine. Your toes done left the building. You ain't got no
the way you just set yourself up for all the backlash you just caught.
all the backlash, all the back shots.
Jay,
Killing me coming out of nowhere.
Jay,
Jay just sniping you at this point.
Jay's carrying a purse talking about back shots. Jay's not sniping anybody but
You
himself.
talk about you carrying a purse. You talk about the tingles in your spine. I'm just gonna remain silent at this point.
No,
in time
you
'cause
said tingles in your. You said tingles in your spine, and I said no. You can
Nah, I
forget
said
that.
you said I
Your
said the tingle
toes are
that be.
gone.
You was
I
like,
said your
damn.
toes leave the building.
I said the tingle in your
I
spine, and
can't
you
do
was like,
south.
yeah.
I can't do
And you
south.
sound a little too happy to say that, yeah.
No, I said yeah, nah. It's more like your toes left the building. It'd
Oh,
be
so they
cold
cur-
as
so
hell.
they
That's not
curling
how I
now.
recall it.
Wait, so they
Somebody play
curling now?
that
All
back
right,
because that's not how I recall it.
No, when your toes leave the building, that means you got frostbite. You about to die. See, Jay, you ain't suffered
Oh,
that weather before. You ain't suffered that weather before. Where you can't feel like
look. It
I've worked
sounds like I
outside
have
to a
I
point.
have an awesome parent that made sure like let me not put my child in these conditions.
What does that have to do with being a man and working on a construction site? Because
Nothing.
that's what I'm talking about.
You said like you never felt like you said felt these conditions. I'm thinking like nope, not in childhood, but not in what young adult, not in adult.
So as a kid, my mother she wouldn't let me go out in this weather unless I really harassed her to do it, which sometimes I did.
Ah, damn, man.
But it's a lesson, right? You get to learn at that point. Like this ain't the weather to be in.
Right.
You learn it early.
She looked like you know what? I'm not even gonna whoop his ass. I'm gonna let Mother Nature do it for me.
But when you work in construction, it's different. You're out there. They want you out there no matter what the weather look like. It could be pouring rain. They're like, yo, we got to get it done. Snowing, sleet. They don't. They usually don't care. They're like, yo, it's got to get done. We need you out there.
and that's why I would never do it where you live. I see in AV we do when it's raw
Layers is
construction
facts.
sometimes, but we do it when it's raw construction sometimes. Like when they don't even have the walls up, they just have the concrete and air's just coming through. That's
Yep,
why I said I can never live anywhere north of where you live. And if anything, I need to go farther south because I don't mind the rain. I don't mind it being hot. But that cold bullshit, that shit, you go that's there. Nah, cuh. I'm quitting the first day.
bro. Like he said right here, layers,
I wear layers, but I'm not wearing layers where
sleeping
you are.
socks,
I don't need layers.
foot
I
warmers,
literally need an Iron Man suit with the
hand
heater in it.
warmers. I mean, you gotta be like dressed to a T, to the point where it is crazy because when you're doing certain things, you can't like as an electrician. Most of my stuff I do is with my hands, right? So if I got a small screw and I can't hold that in my big ass gloves, then my hands are about to freeze because I got to take them off so I can do my job. Working construction, no matter whether you're an electrician, plumber, no matter what it is, working construction during the winter should automatically be prevailing wage no matter what the job is because I should be getting paid the 80, $90 an hour to do that in that weather because that is a true life risk. You know what I'm saying?
You know
It's
the
not like
secret is that I'm gonna tell you? I'm gonna tell you
what.
some good shit. Let's live up. Better you than me. Fuck that.
I remember one year I drove from here to the other side of the state. There's a snowstorm. I got there. The job was inside. That's why I didn't mind doing it. It was middle of winter, middle of a snowstorm. But I got there just for them to say, "Oh, we're canceling today." And I had to drive all the way back home in that snowstorm. Not
No,
bad
I
though.
remember this one time. I drove across your state, and you know what I was doing? Going back to get on a goddamn plane to go home where it's warm at.
Welders get paid good money.
Oh, I was getting paid good money to be there, and I was getting paid just as good as money to go to hell back home where it's warm.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
I got my slices of pizza before I left, but you know,
You know that CT pizza hit different.
I still had to get D hell and up out of there also.
Yeah, that Connecticut pizza hit different, bro. It's worth it. When you come to Connecticut, it's worth it to go hit New Haven and get pizza. Hands down, it's worth it.
So I'll go back, but it's gonna have to be under warmer conditions and terms.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't advise you to come back during the winter at all. I wouldn't. It snowed literally, I want to say every day last week, and like the first 3 days this week, up until yesterday when it was 41, and today it was 33. But every other day it snowed, and we had low like 20s and teens as a high. And if you don't know the weather, here's the crazy part: if you don't know the temperature outside and you look out, that shit'll play you. You'll look out and be like, "Oh, it's nice and sunny out. All right, I'm about to go for a little walk." So you know what I'm saying? You open the door, you be like, "Nah, B, that ain't what it looked like in the window."
They do that here. You be sitting in front of the window, and the sun be hitting. You be like, "Oh, this is nice." You walk
Yeah.
outside, be like, "Oh, hell no, y'all
Yeah,
lying to G."
yeah. Nah, this ain't what it looked like in the window, B. This ain't it.
Yeah, you know
You
how many
gotta go
times
back
I
in the
done,
house.
put on my pants and my 2 hoodies, and I'm about to walk outside. I'm like, let me step on the balcony real quick. I step on the balcony, and that wind blow. I take that shit right the hell back. Our dog be looking at me like, "We going out?" No, we are not. We are staying right where we are. You can go out on there balcony if you want to. He ran out there all happy. 30 seconds later, he's scratching at the door. Hey, bruh. Let me back in. He's like, "No, you wanted to go outside, remember?"
Yeah. But yeah, hey, thank everybody for coming through. We're gonna check up out of here because my voice, I'm losing it. I'm losing my voice as we go. So we're gonna check up out of here for the night. Tune back in next Friday. We'll be back again. At least that's the plan. Hopefully, I'll be sounding a lot better. Um, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Uh, before we go, Mr. Ghost, well, let them know they can find you.
A6 Ghost on YouTube. I think it's YouTube, a6ghost.com. I feel like there's probably 2 or 3 other places, but them the main 2 places you're gonna find me.
Yes, sir. Same to you. Stay blessed. Same to you, Mr. Jarrett. Urban, appreciate that. Hopefully, I'll be back to 100% soon. So I'll get back to
Hey,
killing
Urban,
it.
I need some more content out of Urban because he just slipped off to this after he dropped his project. He
Hey, man,
just slid
listen,
off to the
greatness takes
side, and
time.
I ain't seen no YouTube posts from Urban in the last couple of weeks, and
Greatness takes time. You know what I'm saying? When you dropping masterpieces like that, you don't just flood the market. You gotta give people time to evaluate that full thing and let it
well, he's
rotate
got
for a
his
little while
YouTube
before you
video
drop the next
series.
one. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
got his YouTube video series where he takes a beat and he flips some urban onto it and improves that beat.
Look, there you go. Got some stuff in the works. There you go. As for Jay, y'all can find Jay with his purse at Dollar Tree. And
Jay the Six everywhere:
Jada Six
YouTube, Instagram,
on
Twitch,
everything.
Facebook, OnlyFans, Grindr.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I would have accepted OnlyFans, but Grindr, nah, you
He
still
said
too far.
he's looking for coworkers on OnlyFans. He said males only.
Yeah, nah.
He said he said males only on OnlyFans. As for
For the
me,
low.
as for me, this is your host Big Reg. You catch me here. I am on X. That's pretty much it. Oh, I got a Twitch too, but I don't post there. If you got Twitch though, hit me with your Twitch account, and I will follow you on Twitch because I
You got
enjoy doing it.
TikTok?
I do not have TikTok. I actually tried making another one, and it wouldn't let me. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Yes, Jay the Panthers fan, absolutely. Y'all, stay blessed, stay safe. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.